What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching today, baby. All right, guys. Looks like we already have a bunch of people here on the live chat. So thank you guys for arriving on time here today. We've already also got Dr. Ken Starr. It looks like he's already in the guest room. So I'll bring him on in just a moment. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. That really helps the channel start to grow a little bit. We are getting close to 2,000 subscribers now. So we're getting there, guys. It looks like I'll be having him on the channel for about an hour. So I've got a ton of questions here. So we really, I don't want to drag the questions on too long for him. I've got a bunch of stuff written down though. So hopefully this is informative for all you guys who are interested in Sublicade. We're also going to talk about Suboxone and some other things as well. Also, I will likely be willing to hang out for a little bit after he gets off. It looks like I said, we have him for about an hour. So if you guys want to chat with me like we usually do after the guest gets off, I'll be happy to chat with you guys for a bit. Good to see you in here, Kevin C. Let's see here. Okay, before we bring the guest on, I want to thank last week's supporters. It looks like we had Deb with a super chat last week on the live stream. And then we had Mark Brown with on the replay crew with the super sticker. So shout out to you guys for the donations last week. I forgot to make my egg white shake for the stream here. Don't forget, guys, that you can show your support by hitting the super chat on the live stream. That really helps the channel as well. As far as like production stuff, I want to start getting some better equipment. Right now, I'm just streaming off my phone. It's kind of echoey in here, so I want to make some improvements to the stream. But obviously, that will have to come with financial stuff down the road. If you're watching this on the replay crew, and you're getting value from this message, let me know by showing some super sticker love. That also helps the channel grow as well, guys. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to bring him on now, and we're going to get going. Kevin says he's been so pumped. It's funny, Kevin, we were just talking about Dr. Ken Starr, 2 weeks ago, and here we are today having him on the channel. So I'm really, really pumped about this. So I'll get him on here in just a moment, guys. Just a sec here. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, buddy. Hold on. I got to get my headphones here. I forgot my speaker's blown on this phone. Let's see if that works. Hey, buddy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Sorry, I totally forgot about my blown speakerphone here. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I know we had just a brief few minutes to speak yesterday, kind of off the stream here, but thank you very much for taking the time. And I know you said you'd scheduled this with your receptionist, so you said we have you for right around an hour or so.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you too long.
Yeah, I'm free for till 3:20 my time. So we got an hour and just over an hour, you bet.
Oh, great. Let me see here.
Probably don't have that many questions. Probably don't have an hour of questions, but
oh, trust me, I could talk to you about this for 8 hours today. And a lot of my subscribers are very into this type of stuff we talk about as well. So I have a lot of people who are struggling with, tapering off of Suboxone, and a lot of people that are actually right now transferring from Suboxone to Sublicade. So I do have a ton of questions for you. And I'm sure I'll come up with more too. So
yeah, sure.
Scott, can you see the live chat, or do you just see me from where you're at?
Me?
Yeah.
I can bring up the live chat because I have another screen open to your channel.
Okay. If you want to, you're welcome to.
Okay.
If you want, you don't have to, but usually it'll just be kind of me and you going. But if you see somebody with a question that you want to reply to, feel free to interrupt and
Yeah.
do that.
Okay. I got it up. You got it.
Okay.
Got it up.
So
We've got
let's see here.
Scott.
It
We've
looks
got
like
Kevin C. Jerry. Oh, Jerry.
Yep. Yeah, he can see all you guys.
Right
Do
on.
you know anybody? Do you know any of those people?
I do not have any patient-physician relationship with anyone.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it looks like
Maybe I will.
yeah. There will be. Yeah, I've been recommending people to go see you. I don't know why, but I thought you were in Florida, but you're actually in California, right?
California.
So if you could take a second, tell people your YouTube channel is called Starr MD Wellness Group. So I'll
Right.
definitely post a link in the description of this video. So you guys make sure that you go check out his channel and subscribe to it. We got to get him some more subscribers over there.
I do.
And
I
then
do
what
need more
about your
subscribers. I'm trying. You have more subscribers than me, so.
I've been freaking putting out so many videos, like a video every day lately. Like it's
Oh,
been
okay.
hard work. I've been making videos for 4 years. It looks like you've been
Wow.
making them for many years as well. So it's hard to get subscribers, right?
I'm real inconsistent. I just, like yesterday, I recorded a video, and then I email it to my video guy, who then puts like the trailer and the end and the beginning and the music, and then gets it, the what do you call it, subtitled. And then he's a guy down in LA, and then he's just good at that stuff. I'm not. He'll edit it, clean it up. Anyway, so then it takes a week to get him back, and then I'll post it. So I really need to do more too. I'll get an idea like, oh, I need to talk about something, and I'll make a video of it, and then we get it out there. So there's a little bit of a delay, but I enjoy it, and we get lots of, and it has helped build the channel for sure, right? The more posting more stuff is, making it more accessible has really been good for building the channel. I've become a little bit more consistent lately, and it's helped. I was at like 1,000 for a long time, and then
Mm-hmm.
I think we got up to like 1,600. We got probably 600 in the last 6 months. That's pretty good. It's not bad. My
That's
son
really
has
good.
a my
Yeah.
son has an Instagram. My 19-year-old son has 30,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh my
So
goodness, that's a
I'm
lot.
slacking. He thinks I'm slacking.
You are now compared to him, 30,000.
Yeah,
We'll
I know.
get you a bump in subscribers here.
All right,
So
great.
like I said, I'll leave a link to your channel. You should see a rush of some new subscribers, and then just in the future, as there will be a lot of people that see this video in the future. So should have people going. So as far as like if they want to see you in person for their addiction issues, where can they find you?
Yeah, so physically I'm located on the central coast of California, just outside of San Luis Obispo. So halfway between LA and San Francisco is a town, San Luis Obispo. I'm just a couple minutes outside of San Luis, just real close to Pismo Beach, Avila Beach, places you've probably heard of before. We do a lot of telehealth though. So I'm licensed in California, Texas, Oregon, and Washington. So actually
Okay.
taking care of patients and prescribing and, you know, working with them, I can take care of patients in California, Texas, Oregon, and Washington. Um, Outside of that, people come in person. Sometimes people have to come in person, but less and less so, right? I mean, less and less so. So we have a pretty robust telehealth program now, just because access to addiction medicine specialists is just really limited, and
Yeah, it is.
even in big cities, like even I have people come from all over for our program. So, even in big
Okay.
towns, there's not a lot of providers that want to take on and have an interest and expertise in tapering people off of benzos or alcohol addiction or opiates and the things that we deal with. So yeah, we kind of developed a nice reputation, and yeah, so most of our stuff is obviously in person, but we do quite a bit of telehealth. So anyway, to answer your question, yeah, so if people came in physically, we're just outside of San Luis Obispo in Arroyo Grande. Our office is in Arroyo Grande. And
Okay.
it's a beautiful place. Yeah, there's no seasons here. It's the same temperature every day. So,
Yeah, it is.
which I kind of
What about
miss.
like what's your phone number if they wanted to just call you guys to
Oh
set
yeah,
something out?
sorry about that. Yeah, my email is Ken at kenstarmd.com. Our phone number is 805-242-1360. 805-242-1360. Yeah, email me or call the office. We also have a consult program, so we actually have patients in all over the country, and certainly in other states I'm not licensed in, who we have a consult program where like we book an hour of my time, and I just talk to them about what I would do, what I'd recommend, the direction I would go. And of course, they have to find a provider, somebody in their area. A lot of times they're working with providers they like and trust. They just want a little bit of guidance, what they should
Guidance.
ask
Yeah.
about and stuff. So we have a consult program. We just call a medical education program. So, because I'm not developing I'm not prescribing for them. I'm not accepting them as a patient. I don't have to be licensed. We're just giving kind of medical advice. So we have that service, and some people take advantage of that. We get lots of calls from like New York and Michigan, specifically. So yeah, so it's good. No, it's great. It's great. So that's how you get a hold of me: email, phone.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And we have a
So we've
website,
got
and the
that.
website's kenstarrmd.com.
Okay. Got it. And also, I'm sure they can find all that information through your YouTube channel as well. That, like I said, will be linked on the description of this channel. So before we get started, guys, I want to let you know I am not a doctor. Nothing on my channel is medical advice. Obviously, he's not going to be giving any medical advice to you. So speak to your addiction doctor, guys, if you have addiction issues. Okay. So I kind of went over a lot of videos on your channel. I know I want to talk a lot about Sublicade. But starting things off, could you tell the people a little bit about what NAD plus is? I've never really heard of that until I seen that on your channel.
NAD. Wow. Well, you want the long story or the short story?
Probably the short story.
NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme, a naturally occurring coenzyme that was found in the 1950s when given to substance abuse patients, alleviated withdrawal and craving. And I can provide the actual papers that prove this. So back in the 50s, they knew that the metabolism of lots of drugs, specifically alcohol, involves NAD. And so you burn up all your NAD if you're drug addicted, drug dependent. And anyway, they found that if you gave IV NAD, it eliminated withdrawal. So I didn't think much about it, but I had a patient who told me about it one time, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" So he went and did it, and came back. He's like, "Yeah, I'm off opiates. I feel great." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" So I went, of course, I'm like, "Well, I got to find out about this." So I went and trained on it and learned about it, brought it back to California around 2014, and was just like, "This is going to change the face of drug treatment. This is amazing. What I saw and what I saw it could do." So we started our NAD program around 2014. So we use IV NAD in the clinic for detox withdrawal specifically.
Mm-hmm.
There are, but there's oral sublingual NAD, there's nasal spray NAD, there's topical NAD, and there's all sorts of stuff. It's very popular now. Like it shows up all the time because of the anti-aging and longevity benefits, right? So another thing is that it's been proven that it goes down as you get older. It has antioxidant, it has immune boosting, sleep boosting. So it's a real popular thing. In fact, most of the NAD we do now is really just for wellness and longevity. It's not even for substance abuse indications as much. Anyway, so that's
Okay.
what NAD is. NAD is a nutritional coenzyme that's used for lots of things in health. Our expertise initially was in substance abuse treatment, but now it's it's just blown up. There's NAD clinics now all over California. You'll see every IV infusion program now says we do NAD. Most people don't know what they're doing with it, but you'll see it if you go to a place that does IV infusions and hangover treatments and stuff. You'll see them doing NAD. And again, it's just kind of a feel-good wellness thing, but it
Okay.
definitely has a role for substance abuse treatment.
Okay. Is that something that somebody would use like with Suboxone or maybe after Suboxone or Sublocade? Like where would that come into play as far as like a timeline goes?
Well, it could be a couple things. I mean, so somebody could just stop Suboxone, go into withdrawal, and we could administer NAD, and that would help
Okay.
alleviate withdrawal. Um, Probably a better role for it is in post-acute withdrawal, where somebody does a taper, comes off of opiates, does a pretty good job. They get through acute withdrawal, and post-acute withdrawal or pause can be just relentless, right? Endless. So
Yes.
then we can give NAD, and we can really accelerate that recovery, make them feel, how they'd feel 6 months from now. We can get them feeling like that in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
there's different ways it can be used.
As far as this is something I was going to touch on near the end of the show, but I think it might fit into what we're talking about now. Is that kind of something that you would consider using ketamine for as well, like after coming off of Suboxone and Sublocade, or is that something you would use at a different time as far as for opiate recovery?
ketamine will briefly reduce opiate withdrawal. So if someone's in opiate withdrawal and I give them ketamine, they certainly feel better. And there's a role for ketamine in the treatment of addiction, just in the treatment of addiction. Other than that, there's not really established protocols for ketamine in the substance abuse arena. Like most of the studies were patients in early recovery or sustained recovery. So once patients are in recovery, it certainly helps them in recovery because the increased connection to self and the awareness and the barriers that come down that people can really process the trauma that they've been self-medicating with. So I love ketamine. I'm crazy about I love ketamine. We do a lot of ketamine. There's a role for it, but and I have used it for withdrawal management. Like someone has bad opioid withdrawal, I can give them some ketamine, and that does help. But that's not a real regular part of what we do or our program. We don't really have an established program. If I have someone here for a few days and I'm already kind of throwing everything at them and they're getting NAD and they're getting kind of PRNs, I can kind of turn on a little ketamine and that, calms the storm and patients like it. So it's really kind of undefined. I like it. I think there is a role, but it's kind of early to really come out with strong recommendations. It certainly reduces withdrawal and it has a role in recovery management.
So say somebody comes off of Suboxone or Sublocade and they're just really struggling 3-6 months afterwards. Would you lead more towards the NAD type stuff or the ketamine type stuff?
Oh, NAD.
NAD? Okay.
And in that case, I probably would just try to get them on the sublingual product or an NAD precursor. So if you just swallow NAD, it doesn't work. You have to either take it sublingual or you have to take a precursor, something that gets converted to NAD in your system. The main product that's available is called nicotinamide riboside or NR, and that's commercially available as something called True Niagen, which actually I happen to have here. So this is something that you can buy online or, whoops, there's the camera, called True Niagen. And that's actually something called nicotinamide riboside. That increases your NAD level. And there's another product called NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, that also increases your NAD level. So if you're having post-acute withdrawal, you're going to need to increase your NAD level for weeks and weeks and months. So the IV treatment's a little expensive. I mean, we charge anywhere from $750 to $1,500 a day. So it's not in the cards for everybody to do NAD IV. So I really kind of would recommend more of an oral supplement that's much more affordable that they can take for the next several months.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, the NAD is magic. NAD is magic for post-acute withdrawal. And IV specifically, I'm just saying it's expensive and it's time consuming. He's got to come here in the clinic, hang out for a week or two, and you're dripping. And so it's, not everybody can do that.
I gotcha. I've got not long ago, I got from my old mat clinic, they sent me an email talking about how they do like a daily ketamine, I think it was a nasal spray. Does that work at all in your experience, or is that kind of,
Nasal spray ketamine?
Yeah, for
or nasal spray NAD.
Ketamine.
I've gone away from nasal spray ketamine because the absorption and the availability is so low and unpredictable. Patients weren't having a real good response. And I have to have them in the clinic anyway to give them nasal spray. So now I just do IM, intramuscular ketamine, and that's just bitching. I mean, that works great every time. And so I kind of steered away from nasal spray. We did use the Spravato for a while, an FDA product called Spravato, but I thought it was crap, and it was a big process to get it and to do the REMS, which is the risk mitigation, and to send in the paperwork and to get people approved. My staff revolted. They said, we're not doing this anymore. So I went away from that. Then I would just take high concentration ketamine and use that intranasally. It just didn't work that good. So now I just do IV or IM, or I'll do troches. I have a pharmacy do rapid dissolving tablets or troches, and that's a great way to go too. For home use. I do that for home use too.
I gotcha. Okay. Scott had and I know Scott was asking me on the previous video something about, he was asking me to have you talk about NAD. So we got that out of the way. Hopefully that answers his questions on NAD. He also had just put a question. He says, please ask Dr. Starr to talk about the bridge device. Everything I've seen about it on YouTube seems like quackery. The people who use it seem to be paid to speak favorably about it. Yeah. What's your experience with that?
Yeah, so the bridge device is this little, I have one around here. The bridge device is this little 5-day electrode that you stick it behind your ear. There's a few wires that attach to your ear, and it gives you these little micro pulse electrical signals. And
Okay.
that it's kind of like, apparently the acupuncture points for addiction and tobacco cessation are similar, but it it does work. I mean, it certainly does relieve withdrawal, and I do like it. That being said, the bridge people will have you believe this is all you need. You just put on the bridge device, it alleviates all your withdrawal, and it's all you need. I don't think that's the case. That's not the experience I have. Um, I think that, first of all, I think you have to be on a short-acting opiate, right? So if you're just on heroin or pills, where the worst of your detox is those first 5 to 7 days, I think there's a role for it. I still, in my practice, have to give oral, like PRNs, other meds, muscle relaxers, sedatives. But we put it on, it's like $1,000. Is it worth it? Yeah, I do think it's worth it. It does help, but not for a long-acting opiate, because it only lasts like 5 days. So if you're detoxing off Suboxone or Methadone, or even some of the older fentanyl, where you're really you're going to be in acute withdrawal for a couple of weeks. I don't think the bridge device has that much utility because it's just not going to last that long. So I do like
Okay.
it. I think there's a role, but I think it's got to be real patient specific.
Okay, gotcha. And speaking on, I actually had next on my list here to speak about methadone. Do you guys deal with methadone as well, or no?
Well, I help people get off methadone, but we don't prescribe methadone, right? Well,
Okay.
you have to be a federally approved opiate treatment program to prescribe methadone for addiction. So that's why you have
Okay.
methadone clinics. Now, I'm allowed to prescribe methadone for pain, right? Just not for addiction. So
Okay.
I have some some methadone dependent patients for pain that I can prescribe it for, but we don't prescribe methadone for just addiction. I mean, why? I wouldn't want to. I mean, I think there's way better options.
Yeah, tell me what your thoughts are on this. Do you agree with me or disagree? I believe somebody coming from opiate addiction, like their first line would be methadone, but better would be Suboxone, but would be better than methadone, or better than Suboxone would be Sublicade. Like I look at them in that order. Do you agree with me on that or not?
Um,
As far as like finding your way closer to sobriety.
yeah. Well, I think that we can talk later about the Suboxone and Sublicade thing, but I can tell you that the happiest patients in my program, Kevin, are patients who got off methadone and got onto buprenorphine or Suboxone. They feel way less medicated, way better, way more alert, way less tired, way less. I mean, not that they don't each have problems, right, and risks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not rainbows and unicorns. I mean, but I think I think methadone is. I mean, I don't put patients on methadone. I think there's better solutions. I help patients get off methadone. They do real well. But that being said, in all fairness, if you look at just public health data, the role of methadone in public health, there are very few medicines that have had such a beneficial, positive impact in public health, decreasing crime, decreasing overdoses, decreasing sexually transmitted diseases, decreasing HIV. I mean, there's a lot of public health benefit for methadone. So I don't want to poo-poo it, but individually, I think that's horrible. I wouldn't put anyone on my family on methadone. So I like getting people off of methadone, and they seem to like it. But it's been around a long time. It's still the standard of care. The methadone programs are starting to use more buprenorphine, Suboxone, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I kind of tend to look at a lot of that stuff. I mean, obviously, Suboxone and Sublocade, they're not a full opiate like methadone is. So there's not only there's that, so you're kind of stepping down that way, but also a lot of it, how I like to look at it is how much time do you have to give your addiction every day? And I've had plenty of years of experience with opiate addiction, Suboxone, Sublocade. And I know that just going from painkillers to Suboxone, it was like a massive upgrade, like as far as like stability. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, I didn't have the immediate spikes up and down all day
Right.
long like I did when I was doing the immediate acting opiates. But then when I went from Suboxone to Sublocade, it was like an equal jump as far as feeling normal. Like
Mm-hmm.
since I've been on Sublocade, I don't feel up and down ever. I just feel normal all the time. Is that what you're seeing with your patients as well?
Yeah, my Sublicade patients are very happy. They like it. Definitely something that I try to push them towards if when they're ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Do
agree.
you
Yeah,
do you,
Sublocade's a great improvement.
do you believe that somebody struggling with opiate addiction, like if they're current in active opiate addiction right now, do you think they could go straight to Sublocade, or do you feel I feel like Suboxone was a necessary component as far as like a step down type of thing. Like thinking back, if I took Suboxone out of the equation, I don't think I would have been that successful going right to Sublocade. But are you seeing something else? Are you seeing people have success
Well,
going right to Sublocade?
well, patients have to be stable on Suboxone or buprenorphine before you can use Sublocade. And that's a
Or 7
requirement
days,
of
right?
the, yeah. So you have to have at least a little bit of time behind you on buprenorphine before you can do Sublocade. And I think I mentioned the other day, I haven't used, every time I've used Sublocade, it's been on someone who's been on buprenorphine or Suboxone for quite some time. So I haven't taken any sort of fresh, addiction patient and gotten them on Sublocade. So I couldn't attest to how effective it is. Could you do it? Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
I think you could just get them off whatever they're on, get them stable, give them that week, 10 days and get them Sublocade. Yeah, that'd be great. It just takes yeah, I mean, there's no reason you couldn't do it. It just happens that in my practice, usually, patients are we're getting them more stable. We're kind of letting them, they enjoy the stability and life of buprenorphine and all the benefit, to develop what's called recovery capital, right? So
Hmm.
people have to get out of active addiction, get medically stable, and all of a sudden they can do programming, they can do counseling, they're building up money, they're not cheating, lying, stealing, they're developing trust in themselves and other people. Like lots of things start going well,
Hmm.
and then we kind of maybe try to get them on the Sublocade. But there's no reason you couldn't do Sublocade earlier. But you do have to be stable on buprenorphine before you use Sublocade.
Okay. How important do you feel that health and fitness comes into play? Because I recently have been like bringing in more health and fitness type ideas and workout videos to the channel. How
Mm-hmm.
important do you consider it being an addiction specialist as far as somebody trying to find their way to recovery? Do you think it's a
Oh,
pretty vital important?
I think it's absolutely pivotal. I think it's absolutely vital. And there's a lot of addiction guys on YouTube. My friend Chris is one of them who really teaches people about getting fitness and health and in recovery. Absolutely, absolutely. And even just small amounts of exercise. I tell all my patients like, you've got to exercise 20, 30 minutes a day. You've got to break a sweat doing something. You know, yeah, I think it's absolutely pivotal. I stress it. I personally work out like crazy all the time. I try to get my patients to be more active. I'm like just put on it. Take your dog for a walk for 30 minutes, walk as fast as you can, listen to a podcast, get off your ass. I mean, they have to develop a connection to their body, and they have to develop, and you know what, they sleep better, they're more tired, they have
Hmm.
less impulsivity, they're more calm, it's just they breathe. So yeah, I agree, 100% agree with that. I think it's recovery is going to be a lot better and a lot smoother with physical activity and exercise. Maybe not the extent that
Okay.
you're doing. You're a pretty jacked guy, but these patients are they're coming off the couch. And
Yeah.
I'll show them in the office. I'm like, hey, just do this pose and do this and show them a plank. And I got a pull-up bar right here in the office. So to you.
You gonna go do some pull-ups?
Let me see if I can show you. I got a pull-up bar right there. I knock out
Nice.
pull-ups
Very
between
nice.
patients. So yeah, no,
That's awesome, man.
yeah, you're right. You're right on.
Okay, good to know. I thought that you would agree with me on the health and fitness, but you never know what. I mean, especially being
Right.
a doctor, if, of course you would be into that stuff. So okay, so let's dip into a little bit of talks about Suboxone because I do
Sure.
have the majority of my people are struggling with some sort of Suboxone addiction or struggling with tapering. I've tapered up and down over the last 5 years. Do you see and do you believe that Suboxone saves lives in general?
Yes.
You have a lot of people that have been probably in some pretty rough places. You put them on Suboxone and seen them
You
pull out
know,
of that.
again, I tell people the risks and the benefits, right? And here's the deal: the days of being a lifelong opiate user, the guys who have used heroin for 30 years, they're gone. Like they're either dead, they've overdosed, or they're in recovery, or they're on Suboxone. Because the stuff that's out there now, ISO and fentanyl, is so dangerous and so unpredictable that
Hmm.
I've been doing this full time for 10 years, Kevin, and my I've lost more patients to overdoses in the last 2 years than I've lost in the last 10. So yes, buprenorphine is a lifesaver, and it, it gives it. It's meeting people where they are, and the reality is that for whatever reason, people become opiate dependent, right? It may be prescriptions they were told to take and they followed their doctor's orders, and that just sucks. It may have been bad decisions they made when they were, young. But when you've got the opiate dependent brain, you have to now you need opiates to feel normal and to get by, right? You need opiates in your system to feel normal, not to get high, but to get by, right? To just get
Yep.
shit done, to have motivation, to make your bed, to go to work, take care of your family. So you can ignore that and be like, oh, just don't use anything. And I agree. I mean, we try to get there. So yes, I find that when I can get patients stabilized on buprenorphine or Suboxone, and they have that peace in their life, because the turmoil of addiction, all that energy you just using, and you don't have money and getting it, and making a phone call, and I mean they can't do anything else. So give them that peace and calmness of medication. They're not brain's not going up and down, their life's not going up and down. I tell these people, I say, look, we're going to get together in a week. We talk about starting this medicine. We're going to get together in 5 days, 7 days, and you're going to tell me this is the best you felt in years. I say that, and we get together in 5 or 7 days, and they all say, this is the best I felt in years. Yeah. So again, it's not like I'm, think everybody should be on Suboxone. I have young addicts who don't have a lot of use behind them. I just try to detox them. I don't want to commit them to some of the miseries and difficulties of Suboxone, but it has a role in recovery treatment for a lot of people.
How many people, if you had to say, like, if you had to guess, how many people do you have on Suboxone at this moment?
Probably 200.
Okay. What about Sublicade? How many people do you have on that?
Probably a dozen, 2 dozen maybe.
Okay. What about, okay, so looking at as far as the people that you have on Suboxone, do you like to try to keep them on it long term? Do you like to try to tell them from the start, like, we're gonna work on a taper, or do you have a lot of people tapering?
I encourage patients to taper. I always tell them, because they pay to see me every month. So a lot of people think, oh, I just want to keep them on Suboxone so I can keep seeing them every month. I make it clear, like, look, at my goal is to make sure you don't die, to get you feeling better, to help you achieve recovery, to get you down on your dose and get you out of here. Like, let's be real clear. I don't want you coming here any longer than you need to. Now, that being said, I have patients. I have both camps. I have patients who come in and are like, hey, don't make me come off this medicine. It saved my life. I feel good. This dose is working. Please don't make me go down my dose. I'm not going to make you go down your dose. And I've got people who are like, hey, what's the next step? You told me to go from 10 to 8. I'm at 8. Now, can I go to 6? Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Let's go to 6. And then when I see you, if you're feeling good after a couple weeks, I want you to go to 4. So I get, everyone's different, right? Everyone has a different agenda. But yes, I support coming off it. I'm always encouraging my patients, hey, it looks like you're doing well. Why don't you try coming down this month? I don't force them, but I let them know you can, and you probably feel better. And the thing about a lot of opiate dependent patients, because of their experience, feel better on a higher dose. Right, the more they take, the better they feel. With buprenorphine or Suboxone, the lower the dose, the better they feel. Right, because as the dose goes down, their emotional range comes back, the joy comes back. They feel better, they feel more. So I tell them, as your dose comes down, you're going to feel better, and they do. So I always encourage it. I don't have any strict plan, like all my patients have to come down at 2. No, it's like, look at here. This is a tool that is going to get you stabilized, so then you can start working on yourself, and let's figure out what's going on. Yeah. So no firm policies, but it's a tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that you're open to, because I know I've spoken to some doctors and they're very firm about, no, we're going to hurry and taper off of this, or try to hurry and taper off. I like that you're willing to go with what the person who's struggling needs, right? Because everybody's situation is different.
You've got to meet people where they are. I mean, I have patients that taper off very quickly. I'm like, wow, dude, that was amazing. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks, doc. All right. Like making me look like a genius. I was like, okay, great. Perfect.
You were talking just a little bit earlier about how when people first get onto Suboxone, how they're like in love with it. And I can definitely relate to that. Like I felt like that was the missing piece because I tried to come off of opiates so many times in the past and it never worked. And as soon as I found Suboxone, I was like, I'm good. I'll just take this and I'm good. Like it seems like there's almost like a honeymoon period. There was for me at least. It seems like it was maybe 6 to 12 months where I was like, this is an amazing medication. And then it seems like somewhere after like the year mark, I started to have like negative thoughts about it. I started to self guilt myself for taking it. All the, the constipation,
Mhm.
sexual side effects start piling up. Do you see that with a lot of people in your office too? Like there's a honeymoon type period for a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
and then it
Mhm.
starts to kind of feel like a burden more than a helper.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people get on the medicine, they feel better, and then they maybe start doing some work and they like someone tells them, well, you're not really sober. You're
Hmm.
still on opiates. You need to get off that. And like they start to doubt themselves and like, I guess you're right. Maybe I should. Or they're like, I've been on this long enough. I'm going to stop. And they're at like 16 milligrams and like, I'm just going to stop. Like,
Good luck.
okay.
That's pretty
Yeah.
hard.
So yeah, there's, look at all comers. I think all my patients have made every mistake that can be made. I've made every mistake you can make as a doc. So
Hmm.
yeah. Definitely people, I had a guy yesterday who, stopped for 5 days and was miserable because he went to an NA meeting and they said, oh, you're on Suboxone. You're not really sober. You shouldn't be here. And he was like, his sponsor told him that. So anyway,
No, that's
we just deal with a lot of information and all you can do is educate. Like you look at what's best for you and your family. It's like, it sounds like you were doing really good when you were on the medication. In fact, you're doing really, he's like, yeah, you're right. Sounds like you did well in your job and your relationships are going good. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's like, why don't we come down a little bit more slowly? It's like, I think that's a good idea to come off of it. Why don't we come up with a plan where let's just go down like 2 milligrams this month? Would you be okay with that? So you kind
hmm
of have to sell a little bit and engage people in the plan. But yeah, people have a honeymoon. People come off it, people go back on. People are off for years, they relapse, they come back on. I mean, everything. But I think it's very helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, the kind of what you were just talking about. That's why I've really never resonated with like doing the 12 steps or whatever. I mean, I've never done it, so I can't knock it, but I don't like how they make people who are on Suboxone feel like they're not really welcome there because of that. There was a story that somebody posted, I think on my friend Nicole's channel, and this lady was telling a story about her son was in those classes and he was doing great and everything was working well on Suboxone. They guilted him for being on Suboxone, so he got off and then he relapsed and he died from one relapse because of all the fake stuff that's going around. So it's just crazy, man, how like they can guilt you for that, but then you see stories like that, and it's like the kid was rebuilding his life on Suboxone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, my brother didn't have access to Suboxone and he overdosed and died.
Your brother did? Dang, man, that's freaking horrible. How long ago was that? I'm sorry to hear that.
That was about 10 years ago. Yeah, back around 2011. He was in jail for a
I'm guess.
while, so his tolerance dropped because he didn't use. Then he went out of jail to sober living and relapsed and was dead. And he was in a community where Suboxone was hard to get. Suboxone doctors were few, far between. Expensive meds back then, expensive office visits, just not really accessible. And, of course, he'd prefer not to use that anyway, probably. But
So I'm guessing that's probably something that made you really deep into this helping
mhm.
people. Is that kind of
Yeah,
what's led you into that direction?
yeah, for sure. And I was doing emergency medicine full time at the time, and one of my best friends was an addiction psychiatrist. My best friend's an addiction psychiatrist. He was doing a lot of Suboxone. He's like, you should do this. You should just try this, do it. So I opened up a door, just rented like a little office and started just doing medication. And we grew that, hooked up with some more clinically savvy people and developed the program. And over the years, they got licensed and accredited and hired real professionals to do counseling and groups, and obviously had to get board certified. And yeah, that was a pivotal moment in my decision to change the scope of recovery in my community for sure.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that. I had no idea. I've never heard anything about that in the past, so thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Thank
can't
you.
imagine how hard that would be. So I'm sure you're helping. I'm sure you've saved countless lives with all your patients, and I know like how thin of a line you could be walking when you're in this opiate addiction lifestyle, especially in today's age with all the fake stuff and the fentanyl stuff going around. It's just if you're in that lifestyle, you know that I mean, I've lost over 10 friends to heroin and
Wow.
fentanyl. There's so it's like I always tell
Mm-hmm.
people on this channel because I've literally seen people make videos saying that Suboxone is worse than heroin, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I have 10 friends who are in the ground right now that would probably say otherwise. I'm here because I found Suboxone, and they're not here because they didn't find it. So I don't see how anybody could say that Suboxone is
Mm-hmm.
worse than heroin. That's atrocious sounding to me. What's your thoughts on somebody that would say that?
Carl Hart. You know who Carl Hart is? He's
Mm-mm.
this doctor. He's this professor at Columbia who's written extensively on legalizing drugs and drug use, and he wrote a book called Drug Use for Grown-ups. And and I agree with most of what he says, but his thing is like if you have heroin that's tested and pure and it's safe and it's accessible and it can be used safely, then maybe there's a role for that. So, it's not the drugs, it's the person and the environment and so forth. So I don't know. Is Suboxone worse than, I mean, from a risk perspective, Suboxone is better than heroin. I mean, if you could take medically secured pure heroin every day in a safe environment, then I'm not sure Suboxone's better than heroin,
Yeah.
right? I don't
I
know,
don't think
but
I don't, is that even possible to get that?
it is in other countries.
Wow.
Yeah, in Switzerland you can use heroin safely. It's tested and pure. In other
Wow,
parts
that's
in Europe
crazy,
you
man.
can. But these injection centers that were started and safe use centers that were used, people thought, well, why they're just going to blow up, right? Everyone's just going to go to drugs, right? Well, what happened is that if you go to one of these safe drug use centers in Europe, you also have a case manager and a social worker and a counselor that you have to interact with.
Mhm.
And what found is as people were in that program, they used less and less and less, and they stopped using altogether. If your glass is full of just drug use and problems, and that's what but now if that same vase is now full of connection and community and employment, drugs
Mhm.
have less of a need. So most people transition out of those programs off drugs if they have
Okay.
the right environment that they thrive in. So, there's something to be said for safe drug use, but we don't have it in this country.
Yeah, we definitely don't. I've
No.
definitely never heard of
Yeah.
it. All right, let's talk a little bit about tapering. Suboxone still, obviously. How much success are you seeing with your people in your office actually really tapering just off Suboxone and staying off? Is that, to me, in my experience, it's been nearly impossible after 5 years of doing this with my doses and trying to
Hmm.
jump off at 3 milligrams, trying to jump off at 1 milligram, try to jump off at a quarter of a milligram. Even a quarter of a milligram had a pretty bad withdrawal. Now, granted, I wasn't at a quarter of a milligram for very long, and we're seeing now that a lot of people are staying down at that low of a dose for many months before they're jumping off. How many successful stories are you having in your office of
Well,
people tapering and staying off?
well, it happens. It is difficult, and it's not the majority of people, but we certainly have quite a few people who have tapered off. They're long, slow tapers. But yeah, we have people who taper off, and I usually try to get them down to max 0.25, maximum of 1/4 of a milligram. I actually try to get more like 0.125, which is an eighth of a milligram.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, no, we have people do that who get off and stay off. I just had an elderly lady who was on like 2 milligrams and she went down and she's like in her 70s and she's off. So it happens. I think a lot of it has to do with just your physiology and how you metabolize it and what's going on in your head and so forth. So Sublicade, I know you want to talk about that's really changed the face of tapering. That's changed the game completely. Sublicade has. But to answer your question, yeah, it's difficult, but we do it. Yes, we have lots of patients who taper down and off. I couldn't give you a number. It happens. We probably graduate a couple people a month off
Okay.
Suboxone who just tapered.
Okay. So if you say, let's say probably your average person is on somewhere maybe around 16 milligrams or so. Is that kind of about where you're seeing in your office on average?
Yeah, I've got people on anywhere from 1/4 of a milligram to 24 milligrams.
Okay. So if somebody was like, say, on 16 milligrams and they came to you saying, "Hey, I would like to taper off," like how long would you say? Like a year, 2 years, six
So
months? Like what?
yeah, so I would say here's the model I describe. I say, okay, you're stable on, if 16 is the dose that's working for you, you're stable on it, you're not having any cravings, you're not relapsing, your mood's good, your sleep's good, you're stable on that. I want you to go down to 14. Okay. And then when you go to 14, I want you to get stable on that. Maybe that takes 5 days, maybe it takes 5 weeks, right? Who knows? Now,
Hmm.
at the higher doses, it usually is not a problem. Like above 8, it's usually not a big deal for most people, because
Hmm.
about 80% of how well Suboxone works is that first 8 milligrams, right? So below 8's a
Yep.
different story altogether. But getting people down to 8's usually not a problem. Anyway, I just say, look, it's like a staircase. You're on this dose, you go down a little bit, maybe 2 milligrams. I want you to get stable on that. I want you to go down 2 milligrams, get stable on that. Again, above 8, go down 2 milligrams, get stable on that. So, so maybe it's a reduction every 2 weeks, maybe it's a reduction every month. I've had a guy who every time he did a tiny reduction, he was miserable for months. This big burly like cop, man, he's like, he couldn't, every reduction he was like crying like a baby. Anyway, so it took forever. It took forever, but his head was in it, man. He
Yeah.
wanted it. But I'm saying
Okay.
his chemistry, it took him a long time to adjust. But here's the thing, you cannot come down until you are absolutely stable on that dose. Now, minimum, I don't know, 10 days, minimum 10 days because of the long half-life. But if
Yeah.
you want to go down every 10 days, that's 3 reductions a month. If you're feeling absolutely
Hmm.
fine, not more than 2 milligrams. So that's what I say. I say, here's your dose. Let's find the dose where you feel okay. What's the lowest amount where you feel okay? I don't know what that is, whatever that is for you. Let's see what that is. Now, so using that, I'll usually come down by 2. So 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6,
Hmm.
4 to 4. I'll usually do that to 4. Maybe below 8 by 1 if people are sensitive. Below 4, I'll go by half. So I'll go 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2. Below 2, I go by 0.25. So I'll do 1.75, 1.5, 1.25. So and then I'll use a 2 milligram strip, right? Of course, at that. So, um, yeah, so that's kind of my model. But so I can't say, hey,
Okay.
this is a 2-year program. I can say, I want you to get stable on this dose and then do a dose reduction as soon as you feel like you're stable. And I'm going to see you in a month. So here's the lowest I'd want you to be on. And it's a lot of times, half the time they don't do reduction at all. It wasn't a good
Okay.
time. I had too much going on. My family was in town, the holidays. I'm like, all right.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
said, it's going to be it'll be different for everybody, and everybody's on their own level. I always tell people it's not a race. Like certain people
Yeah.
can
Right.
taper fast, some people need to space it out a couple years. Like,
Right.
it just really depends on your
That's what I tell
situation.
them. I said, you're not going to get a trophy for doing this any faster.
That's a good way to talk about it.
So it's like, what, you're not getting a
Um,
gold star or trophy, so you may as well just take good care of yourself. Because during that time, people need to function. They need to go to work. They need to go to
yeah,
school. They want to feel okay. They have to drive. They have stuff to do. So I don't ever want those reductions to be big enough that they're going to feel shitty, right? So
yeah,
these little reductions are well tolerated. Yeah, you're going to have 5 or 7 days. You're a little irritable, maybe not a lot of energy. I tell them that. I say, here's what's going to happen. For 5 or 7 days, you're going to come down. You're going to feel a little irritable. Not all cylinders are firing. you may not have a lot of gas in the tank. That's okay. Just see it through. Don't, just see it through. And then boom, day 7 or whatever, the sun comes out, the clouds part, and they feel fine. Now they're totally fine on that lower dose. So that's kind of the way I sell it.
Okay, that makes sense. Just real quick here, I just wanted to take a pause. It looks like we have 21 people in here.
Oh, wow.
I see
That's cool.
13 likes, guys. So let's get those likes up to at least 20 on
All
here.
right.
That'll help the channel grow.
That's
So
great.
hit that like button, guys. Yeah, we got 20, looks like 21 right now.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Can you see any of the comments popping up on your screen?
Yeah. I take Venmo
Okay.
donations too, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
Let's see. Yeah, someone said you cutting the strip in 16, 2, 4. Usually, yeah, it could be, you could cut a 2 milligram strip into 16 pieces.
Yeah, I think what he was referring to was, let me read one of the comments Kev was talking about. He says, how do you taper when Indivior instructs you not to cut the strips or pills? When
You cut the strips and the pills.
There you go. That's how you
absolutely.
do it, Kev.
Yeah.
I've
had pharmacists call me. I've had pharmacists call me. Oh, you cannot cut the strip. Yeah, you can.
Sure. Yeah, it's like there would be no other way to get off of it if you couldn't. It is kind of weird.
Now
that
there's some speculation that's not completely uniformly distributed perfectly on that. I mean, I don't care. Just cut it and deal with it. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I couldn't prove either way, but I've been cutting strips. We've been cutting strips for 10 years in this part of the country, and no one's had a problem with it.
I got you. So I wanted to kind of transfer over real quick here, since it looks like we have about, I don't know, less than half an hour now. Let's go ahead and talk about Sublicade, because I just have to say, like, as soon as I seen your last video on Sublicade, at this point, I'd already done so much research on everybody's stories. I made my appointment with my doctor, and when I heard you talk about, you said something like, I was wrong in the past videos about Sublicade. We believe now that Sublicade has an awesome role in helping people taper off of Suboxone.
Yeah, I came around.
What is the change?
When Sublicade first came out, I thought, well, this is good because of the diversion and misuse and people running out early. But if it lasts so long, how are my patients going to taper off this? Right? This is a horrible drug for people who want to go down on their dose. And I made this early video saying, here's the problems with Sublicade. Well, I was wrong. I mean, I think it's absolutely a phenomenal drug to get to taper off. So, what I think you're referring to is, you're doing this hand to mouth, day after day, week after week, month after month. Well, you do a shot of Sublicade. It's a very high level of buprenorphine that's just very consistent. That lasts, in fact, has such a slow, long half-life that we use it now to taper people off. Again, depending on the dose, we can talk specifically about doses, but yeah, we can do 2, 3, 4 injections and you're done. And every person I've done this on has been, I kind of learned it by accident. What I first started doing was taking the 100, and I think this is what you're doing, if I remember, is taking like the 100 and then using less of it and less of it and less of it and less of it. And that worked. But also what works is doing that 100, 2 to 3 times and just stopping. That seems to work great too.
So how did you, let's see, let me back up. So it seems like when Sublicade first came out, it was a very generic, everybody gets the 300, 300, 100, 100, because that's how the manufacturer kind of tries to push it, right?
Right.
When did you start going off label, is what my doctor refers to it, and I think that's how you refer to it.
When I read an article that was published that said, hey, we use Sublicade and we have all these patients that were able to taper off of this one shot of Sublicade, I was like, that's an idea. So I had this really big burly guy who works as a car dealer, and he was on 16 milligrams for a long time. And his doctor said, you need to get off of, and he was on the shot. He did the 300, he did the 300, he did the 100, he did the 100. And his doctor said, oh, you're going to have this surgery. You need to get off Sublicade. You need to get off Suboxone to have surgery, which is total bullshit. His doctor said, you need to get off Suboxone to have the surgery, which is, again, total bullshit. It's myth. You don't need to go. Anyway, he's like, okay. So he stopped. That was it. He stopped. So I call him up. I'm like, some months go by. I'm like, hey man, you doing all right? Oh yeah, doing great. Yeah, it's been like 3 or 4 months since your last shot. Yeah, yeah. And then I was like, okay. So then I started it on more people and more people, and I've made some mistakes with it. I've given too high of a dose on someone who was on too little, and I've given too little of a dose on someone who was on more. But I've kind of worked out some of that. But anyway, I've learned about it initially just from reading a paper, and then I have a lot of patient experience with it now. So I really like it. I believe in it. It stops the hand to mouth thing, like, oh, I've got an extra quarter, I'll just take it. I don't want to cut. That's like, I don't want to waste. I have this piece. I don't want to go down. It's like, it's a lot of those head games that go in, and so it's like, here's your shot. It's like, okay.
And then you can move on with your life.
And and as depending on your dose, I mean, you get a high level of buprenorphine in your blood with that shot, higher than you get with just the oral transmucosal product. So if you ask people, like, do you have cravings or withdrawal? They're like, no, I don't. So anyway, so yeah, we've had great luck with that. I really like that. In fact, honestly, Kevin, it's taken the place of our detox program. I do like the NAD detox, which was our standard. We had people come from all over the country to do like a 14-day NAD detox to get off opiates. I have patients call who want to do that now. I just say, why don't we just do some Sublicade? And they're like, what's that? I tell them about it, and they do. Yeah, I had this elderly lady who wanted to do NAD. I talked her into. She was on low dose. She was like on 2 milligrams, years and years and years. This lady in her 70s, real sweet lady. I gave her 100 milligrams once,
and that was it.
That was it. I booked her for her second shot. Talked to her. She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm not going to come get it.
How long ago was that?
Probably 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. I definitely I'm going to get to more questions talking about that type of situation here in just a minute. So I just wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit, because for years I was so, like, when I was talking about how there was just that copy and paste, everybody gets the same dose type of thing. There were many years I was really upset by that, because doctors at the beginning weren't going to be willing to go off label. As somebody, like, I could always taper down to 1-2 milligrams, no problem. So I was like, it's almost like I was screwed because I was able to taper down to a lower dose. But now it's like it's like some doctors are doing what you're doing, and they're willing to, like, adjust for lower Suboxone doses, but a lot of people are having problems still. They're having their doctors say, hey, you can't get on Sublicade because you're too low on your Suboxone dose. Like, what would you tell those people?
Well, the problem is that the specialty pharmacies that wholesalers that dispense or release the Sublicade won't do it unless you're on a certain dose of Suboxone. So if I make an application for you and you're on 2 milligrams of Suboxone, it won't get approved.
Yeah.
So I have to either lie and say you're on 8, but then they ask to see chart notes, which is a problem, or I put you on 8 and you just cut it and take 2. But that's the problem now, is that the specialty pharmacies won't allow you to take, won't fill a prescription for Sublicade because you're on too low of a dose. That's the problem we're running into now. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the problem.
I never heard about that. Okay.
Yep. If you're on a milligram,
that actually makes sense.
Yeah, if you're on a milligram of Suboxone, you cannot. They won't give you Sublicade. You won't qualify for it.
That's crazy, man. So I mean, so on my situation, I'll just say, so I tapered down to, like, right around 1 milligram. I went in, had my doctor's appointment, and I said I would like to go from where I'm at, 1 milligram or so, to the 100 milligram shot. And he was like, explain to me why you think that would work. And so I kind of told him about, like, the constipation, testosterone gets all screwy when I'm on higher doses.
That's true.
I just went over all the side effects, basically sexual issues and stuff from being so buped up, I guess you could call it. And so what we decided on was we would raise my Suboxone dose to 3-4 milligrams, and then he would give me half of the 300 shot, which was 150 milligrams. And that actually worked out to be pretty much about, I would consider it perfect. I mean, the first day or two, maybe it was a little strong, but after that, it was it was fine. So as far as if I could just maybe throw out some numbers as far as people's like Suboxone dose to a Sublicade shot that would actually work for them. If you could tell me if you would adjust from this, I'm just going to tell you like the numbers that I've seen people. I've talked to a lot of people that have gone from Suboxone. I have a lot of people on low dose Suboxone on my channel that want to know like where they need to ask their doctor to try to start on. If I could throw out some numbers, if you could tell me like what you think about these numbers. I mean, what do you think about how we did it? 4 milligrams to 150. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. So 6 milligrams and above, I definitely would do 300 milligram shot. If
Okay.
you're on 6 milligrams or above, I definitely do a 300 milligram shot. 2 milligrams or less, I definitely would do a 100 milligram shot.
Okay.
4 is kind of this tweener zone where
Mm-hmm.
I've given 300 and it was too much, and I've given 100 and it wasn't enough. So I think your idea of doing 150, I think you hit the bullseye. Honestly, I didn't even think of that. So I think that's
Okay.
great. I think 4, you could do 300. I think you might feel a little over medicated for a while. I did that. She felt over medicated for the first week. She had bad constipation for the first couple of weeks, and then now she's totally thankful and great and happy and off everything. So I think there is kind of this tweener dose, I think, between like 2 and 4, but 6 and above, I
Okay.
definitely would recommend 300. 2 milligrams less, I definitely would do 100.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
What about would you even consider doing something like I know my good friend Deb, she's on here right now. She's the moderator for the channel. She is on like less than half of a milligram. Is there any possible way that you maybe would do like a 50 milligram shot or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. So the patient who I gave, from my experience, I had a patient on half a milligram who I
Yeah.
gave 100 milligrams, and she was way over medicated.
Okay.
So yeah, that's somebody you could certainly try 50 milligrams. You bet.
Have you ever tried that yet?
No, because I haven't had the opportunity. I haven't had somebody transition over to on that low, but I would. If I had a patient
Okay.
today who's on half and wanted, that's what I would do. Yeah, that's
You
what I
hear
would
that,
do.
guys? If you're in
Mhm,
California and you're looking to do this transition,
mhm.
he's your guy. Callie Love. Callie Love, where are you at? I know she was asking me, she's
Uh-huh.
like, there's a subscriber on here, her name's Callie Love, and she was like, my doctor, he's able to do it, but he's never given a shot. And then, so I was like,
Right.
as soon as I pieced that you were in
Well,
California, she's a few
you
hours
know,
away from you. I was like,
the other thing you
just
got
go
to
to you.
remember, the other thing you got to remember is a lot of providers who are doing buprenorphine and Suboxone are psychiatrists. They're in these clinics. They don't do injections. They don't do injections for anything. They don't have nursing. They don't have MAs. They don't do shots at all. So, you know, some of the other people in my community who do buprenorphine are psychiatrists, and they're not going to
Hmm.
give you. They're not doing Sublicade. They're not going to. You know what I mean? They wouldn't know what to do with a syringe in their hand. They're not doing it,
Yeah, yeah,
and they don't do it right. In fact, even
yeah.
Vivitrol, it's not even a controlled medication. Vivitrol, and they don't do that either because they're not going to do. But we have nursing. We have an IV infusion program. We've got MA, so we can do. We start IVs in necks and feet. I don't care. They'll do it. We'll take care of it.
So okay, so just thinking forward outside of the box, you have somebody that's on half a milligram, they're
Mhm.
struggling to finish it up. You would be open to doing something like a half of 100 milligram shot, which is 50
Mhm.
milligrams.
Yeah, because I can always give them a little. I can always give them like some extra a prescription for they can always take a half milligram sublingually if it wasn't enough, or we could give them the
Yep.
rest of it. We could give them the rest of it later or something. I might do 50
Okay.
or 75. I'm not aware of any evidence to support that, but again, I had my patient who was on half a milligram. I gave her 100 milligrams and she was over medicated. So, and
Okay.
granted, she's a young lady, she's thin, she's on the smaller side, so maybe there's something there, but I wouldn't do 100 milligrams again.
Okay. Good. Yeah, it's good to know. And I was interested when you told me that story
Mhm.
yesterday. It was cool to hear that. What's your opinion on some? I asked my doctor a little bit about this. He says he has one guy that does this. What's your opinion on doing like Sublicade booster shots, say every 2 to 3 months, just if they start feeling a little bit of withdrawal, I guess if you could call it that, would you be open to giving somebody a shot every 2 or 3 months just to keep them out of that little low zone?
Yeah, yeah, I think it just kind of depends on what their goals are. I mean, we just have to come up with what's our treatment plan. I mean,
Okay.
is that somebody who wants to stay on Sublicade? Or is that somebody who doesn't want to be, but they're having some withdrawal? Maybe we can give them some meds, some PRN meds for withdrawal or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
not against it. I'm not against it. I just would want to make sure our whole treatment plan's aligned, so they're, that's what they want to do. I haven't done
okay.
that. But,
It sounds like you're starting to try different avenues, like stuff like we've been talking about, which is awesome. What about, like, have you heard about the generic? Is there generics and different dosing coming out in the near future? I've kind of heard a little bit about some of this stuff.
well, I'm not aware of any generic Sublicade. There's generic strips and generic tablets.
So you haven't
There's,
heard about, it's called Cam 2038, I believe. You haven't heard about
what is
that?
it? I don't think
So
so.
it's basically going to be the generic, I guess if you could call it that, of Sublicade. It's going to be a lot
Oh,
cheaper, and they're going to have much different dosing, like a lot of different doses.
oh, okay,
You can do
great.
it
No,
in either you can do it in either monthly or biweekly now too. So that should be coming out. If you guys haven't heard of that, you can do some Google. Just Google Cam 2038, and then you can read all
okay,
about it.
cool. No,
Yeah, I'm
thank you.
surprised you haven't. I'm surprised you've never
Cam
heard of that.
2038. Yeah, no, thank you. That I learn more from my patients than I do anywhere else.
So what I heard from my doctor basically, and I was like, why is this shot $1,700?
Mhm.
And he's like, basically, Sublocade owns the rights to this medication for 7 years. They've had the rights for, like, I think 4 years now or 5 years. So they're getting close to, once the 7 year mark is up, that's when the generics can come out. So just for you guys in the future that are worried about the cost of Sublocade, there should be cheaper alternatives coming. I wanted to touch really quick on the costs of it. What's the retail cost of Sublocade for in your office for people that don't have any insurance?
I've only had one patient who paid cash for Sublicade, and it was like $1,600. So almost all the Sublicade, it gets, it's prior authorization, it gets approved. So it just gets mailed to us for no cost. Usually, the
Okay.
vast majority of time, it gets mailed to us at no cost to the patient. And we just charge like a nurse injection fee, right? We have to do drug testing, a
Okay.
nurse injection fee. So that's it. But the retail
Okay.
price, if you pay retail, is crazy high.
My doctor said that they might be, like the nurse lady at my doctor said that they might be willing to give me their cost on the Sublocade shot if
Oh,
I didn't have insurance. They said it was something like maybe 1,000 a month. Do you guys do that where you're at or no?
no, I mean, I'm sure they have a buy and bill option, but if
Okay.
I bought it, as far as I know, it'll be $1,700.
Okay. It appears that a lot of state-ran insurance groups are paying basically in full for Sublocade. Is that what you're seeing in your area as well?
It is covered by insurance, and I think it's covered by Medi-Cal, which is our state insurance. So
Yes.
I don't, I'm sure they've negotiated a huge steep discount on it, but
Yep.
they're not paying $1,700, but it gets approved. Yeah, we can get it for them.
Okay.
It's great. Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people, if you guys aren't working for whatever reason, apply for your local state insurance. It should be free to you at no cost, and then they should pay for your Sublocade shot. From what I've heard and from the research that I have done, I wanted to ask if you've heard of this company. It's called In Support. Have you heard of that?
Mhm. Yes. Mhm.
So,
So
are you
yeah,
having
that's
success?
yeah, they'll work with the end patient consumer to try to get like a copay assistance or to get them authorized.
So I had a friend that his insurance said that they would pay for $600 of the shot per month. So he got a hold of In Support just by going to insupport.com. Basically, it's like a Sublocade assistance, and
Mhm.
they're paying for the remainder of what his insurance won't pay for. Does that
Okay.
sound right to you from what you're seeing?
Yeah, there's probably some qualifications. So my front desk probably
Okay.
know more about it because they do all those applications. But yeah, I think
Okay.
that's how those programs work. It's like copay
Okay.
assistance.
Okay.
A lot of these expensive drugs have copay assistance programs because they know that
Okay.
they want to get it out there and they'd rather get $500 than nothing.
I had a weird thing happen at about the 6 hour mark after my first shot of 150 milligrams. It felt like I had a rush of like 24 milligrams hit me at 1 second, right? And it lasted for like maybe 2 minutes. It actually happened while I was on a live stream, and I was kind of freaking out. I almost had a panic attack because it was
Really?
scary, man. It scared the heck out of me. Have you had anybody else talk about that or experience that?
I don't recall if I have. I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
It
But I don't
doesn't.
have a good memory
I've
for some
never
of those
seen.
things.
I've never seen anybody else say that they've had that when I've read everybody else's stories.
Uh-huh. But I've had
Um,
the little subcutaneous nodules last for months and months and months. And in fact, in one of the YouTube videos, I have a picture, and this guy had like 4 or 5 nodules still in his belly. You could see from all of his previous injections that weren't going away
I
very
just watched
quickly.
that. I just watched that video yesterday. What's so okay? So if you were like knowing what you know about how long the medication lasts, if I get my 4 shots total, okay, and I get my last shot right before the end of December, when is it your guess, if you could put a guess of when I would be having a negative drug
So
screen for
you
bupe
did. Oh, you may have a positive drug screen for bupe for a year.
for a full year?
Mhm. The
So
manufacturer's
with
information said that the manufacturer's data in their information, they say that if you've achieved steady state, which is about what 4 injections, they've had
okay,
positive urine drug tests at a year, 12 months out.
and that's even with somebody starting on the lower shots.
No, that was people who did 300, 300, then 100, 100, 100.
Because if you think about that, that's, I mean, what's that? Three, six, that's 800 milligrams of shots they've had, right? And I'll only have had 400.
I doubt you would test positive, but so you did 150. No, yeah, you did 150, and your next one's
Yep.
going to be what, 100 or something?
My second one was 100. I had that a month ago.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to get 2 more shots of 100, but they're going to be
Yeah.
spaced out.
Yeah.
This third one will be 5 weeks, and then the last one will be like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I was
I
thinking
think I
maybe
think
next
that's fine.
summer.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the value of spacing it out. I probably would just do it at about a month, but I would just do 1 or 2
Okay.
more shots, then just stop completely,
Okay.
and you're done.
And then do you think maybe like, so I mean, what are you seeing as far as like withdrawal? Like, is there even a withdrawal from Sublicade?
I have not seen it. If there is, I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
I like that. That's the best part of the whole
And
show right there.
I've got some very fragile, delicate, wimpy patients who I was really skeptical that they would be able to pull this off, and they're doing great. They're doing great. They're fine.
So,
They have no withdrawal, no craving, nothing. They're done.
so you had a lot of people switch to Sublicade.
Hmm.
Do you have like a recommended amount of shots that you'll have them take before they stop?
That comes up. It depends on the starting dose. If they're starting like what you did, if they can start at 100, I might do 2 or 3. That's it. I'm
Two or
not
three?
basing that off any proof in scientific serum level. I'm just saying that's my experience. I think I would do 2 or 3 and be done. I mean, if that's generous, you could do 2 for sure. I think you do 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I've had patients come back after being off of buprenorphine for a while, whether it's the strips or the Sublocade, and they just say, I want to be back on it because I just felt better. Because they felt, because for whatever reason, like, okay, they feel they're at risk of relapsing, or they just had
Hmm.
more energy and more clarity. So who am I to say? It's like,
What about like, what's your position as far as somebody, if they had, say, an emergency or they needed to have a surgery and they were on Suboxone or Sublocade, what would be the procedure for that?
well, it depends on the dose. So there's actually, this has been well researched and written. So um, if you're on 8 milligrams or less, you really don't need to change anything you're doing. If you're on, so usually, I mean, if you're on a high dose, like say 16, then what happens is most of your opiate receptors are occupied. So you're not going to have a lot of room to take, opiate analgesia for your surgery. So I think I have an article about it. I could get back to you with it, with the data, but I think it was, they wanted you to go down to like 4 milligrams twice a day, I think is what the anesthesiologist said. If you went down to 4 milligrams twice a day, you could safely
Okay.
take whatever pain medicines you needed. And because you don't want to stop Suboxone and have to get back on the Suboxone, right? You
Yeah.
want to stay on it. So usually a low dose,
Mhm.
like 8 milligrams a day, you still have enough opiate receptors available. And I think you divide it up just to even increase that availability. So if I have patients, I'll usually just get them, I'll just say, look, just temporarily take 4 milligrams twice a day, take whatever pain meds you need. And when the doctors call me, hey, I got this guy, I'd say, just treat him how you treat anybody you're doing the root canal on or your hip replacement on. If you normally give 5 days of Percocet, just give them 5 days of Percocet. I mean, just it's a painful operation, but I definitely don't want them to get below 8 milligrams a day, and then they can just ramp that back up when they get off full opiates.
Okay, gotcha. I know you got to get going here pretty soon. You just have a few more minutes left, probably.
Yeah, well, no one's my staff isn't knocking my door down yet, so
Okay.
shoot.
I've got a few more questions here from a couple
Okay.
of my people here, so I'll just kind of fire them off at you.
Okay.
Let's see, the first one, so you might have to kind of breeze through these a little bit here. He says, can you explain steady state and how long that takes? And is homeostasis another good word to use for that?
Steady state, it has to do with like administering the drug at intervals consistent with the half-life of the medicine. So, if I don't remember the numbers, but if a drug has like a 8-hour half-life, you have to give a dose every 8 hours for a certain amount to have a steady level in your blood. The steady state of the buprenorphine, I want to say it was like 4 injections, if I remember. I could get back to
Okay.
you with it, but I have their manuscript. Probably like 4 months of your steady state, something like that.
Okay. All
And
right.
that
And
just means your
then,
level is like if you do 100 milligrams. So if you did 100 milligrams once, you're just going to kind of get this, right? But if you did 100
yep.
milligrams twice, and that's why they do it a month, you want it a little bit more steady. You don't want it to come down and have to go back up. So
Yeah, as soon as I got my second shot, I felt 100% stable. Like I knew that as soon as I had that second one in me, I was going to be good to go, and I felt great since I got my second one. Let's see. Next question here. He says, what dose of Sublicade would be good for somebody on 5 milligrams to get?
that's a tough one. I probably would do 300 just because I don't want to worry about them. I'd rather them be a little bit over medicated than totally under medicated. But
Okay.
that is in that kind of tweener zone, you know.
Yeah.
So
I
I
want to I want to
probably would do
say
300.
I
You can
want
do
to say I think
150.
he 150. I think he actually got 100 milligrams yesterday, and he was even saying that it felt strong.
Okay,
Surprisingly,
good. Yeah,
I didn't I didn't know he was on 5 milligrams. He says if 100 milligrams doesn't seem to be anywhere enough for the first month, will the next 100 milligrams work better and get the patient to where they need to be, or would the 300 milligrams be
that's
a good
that.
idea for the
Yeah,
second shot?
that's a good question. That's a great question. If he could stick it out, I probably would get another 100 milligrams early because if you're steady state at 100 milligrams, you are well above your serum level on 5 milligrams a day.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, your blood level at 5 milligrams a day is here. You're steady. You're 100 milligrams. You're here. You're way above that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably get another 100. I wouldn't go up to 300. I would just get another 100. I'd try to get it maybe a little early, or maybe supplement with like a 2 milligram strip for a bit if your doctor's cool with that. I wouldn't go back to
Okay.
300 because you want to just try to get steady state, and steady state at 100 is well more than you're used to.
Gotcha. Next question, he says, in your experience, what is the best amount of 100 milligram shots for lower oral dose patients for long-term success as far as getting off? I know we kind of talked about this a little bit just a minute ago, but just
Lower oral
if
dose, like what does that mean? Like 2 milligrams or less?
so he's coming from like 2 to 4 milligrams of Suboxone.
Mhm.
He wants to take a few shots of Sublocade to move on with his life. Should he get 2 or 3
Yeah,
or 4?
yeah.
Or?
I would do 100 milligrams probably twice and see how you feel. Maybe get teed up for a third one, have it available. But I probably wouldn't. Most of my patients don't seem to need it, but I'd maybe have it available in case you decided you needed it. But I
Okay.
think two. I think you could walk away after two. That's my guess.
Okay. He says, next question says, what is your take on getting 100, 100, 300? Would the last would the last being 300 provide a better, longer, slower taper?
I don't think so. I think you're really going to just. I mean, again, 100, two 100s in a row. Your serum level is well over. Is still equivalent to like 24 milligrams a day. I mean, or 16 milligrams a day. I mean, it's really high. So I wouldn't do that. I don't see the logic in it, but I understand what the question is. I don't think I would do it.
Okay. Next question. What is the maximum amount of time somebody should supplement? And should anyone have to after the second shot?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there is data that people on their first shot of 300 had a sub-therapeutic level that first week or two. So the first shot, the first time they get it, that first week or two, you can get levels that are low. And I think I showed that in one of my videos.
Yep.
So I tell my patients that might happen, and I'll let them know I can give them a prescription for like an 8 milligram dose, but after the second shot, you should not need that.
Okay.
That should not be an issue.
Okay. Another guy, let's see, Scott here asks, he says he's getting his first shot in a few weeks, getting a 100 milligram shot, and he's coming from, let's see, I asked him here. He's coming from, I think, 2 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Sorry, he'll do great on that.
Yeah, I think he'll do great on that.
Okay. He says, oh, I lost the question. Let's see here. How long? Let's see. Nikki says, how long does Sublicade stay in your system once you get off? Is that kind of all over the place?
It's a long time. It's a long time. It depends on your doses and your body habitus and your weight, but it is a very, very, very slow dissolution. It comes off so slowly that's why, we're talking about people coming off Sublicade with no withdrawal, because it's coming down so imperceptibly slow. I mean, look, if you can do 4 or 5 shots and it's detected in your system a year later, that should give you an idea of like how slow this product is out of your system. So, again, that data is out there. You can find it if you go online. You look at the prescribing information for Sublicade. That data is there. I just don't want to make up something.
I gotcha. And getting back to the last of Scott's question here, he says, should I try and reach steady state before stopping? I read it takes 6 injections of the 100 milligram shot to reach steady state rather than doing the suggested 300, 300, 100, 100. And
this is the guy.
Withdraw.
This is the guy who's starting at 2 milligrams. This is the guy with 2 milligrams.
Yes. Yep. He says at the end here, he says, will withdrawal be less if I have 6 or more of the 100 versus say only 2 or 3?
Probably. I mean, I think the clock's still ticking the longer you're on it. So probably. I don't see the need to do 6. I don't see the need scientifically. And I haven't seen it clinically the need to do 6. I probably would get it and have it available. Like we always prescribe it with a refill, like so we can get it here. I don't see an advantage to doing 6. Why don't you see how you feel after 2? If you're rock solid after 2, maybe a third one, and I'd try walking away if that's your goal is to get off.
I love that. Okay. Do you use like numbing stuff or ice?
My nurses do. I don't. My nurses have ice and numbing cream, and I just kind of distract them. I just kind of pinch the skin and talk to them, and then stick it in, and they seem to do okay with it. It hurts though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I always tell everybody it just feels like I got stung by a bee. I didn't need ice. I didn't need anything.
I had a TB test yesterday that hurt like hell. So I don't know. I'm such a wuss. I'm sure I'd scream and cry.
That's a finger prick, right?
Yeah, it's a little like sub-Q needle in your arm, a little wheel.
Oh yeah, okay.
I haven't had people. It hasn't been a problem, but you know what? It's not unreasonable. My nurses ice the skin, and I have topical skin. We actually have topical numbing cream here for that, so that's not unreasonable request. Yeah, we can do that.
I gotcha. I know you're just about out of time here. I wanted to touch real quick on testosterone because I know that you specialize in testosterone replacement therapy as well, right? Do you see a lot of people that are needing supplemental testosterone if they're on Suboxone or Sublocade?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, opiates, decrease your testosterone level. All opiates decrease your testosterone level. So I check it in patients. I ask them about symptoms and I check it. And so it's not uncommon to need testosterone replacement if you're on opiate replacement therapy. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it something that you kind of like bring up with your patients that are on this stuff, or like?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'm like, how are things working? Okay. I want to ask about side effects of the medicines. Are you constipated? Do you have mouth irritation? how are things working downstairs, and I'll test them. If they're young guys, I'll test them. I mean, I'm not like making them super therapeutic so they, look like Hulk. But if they're young guys and their levels below 300, man, you should probably try this. And they thank me.
Yeah.
If they don't thank me, their wives call me and thank me. So
it makes a big difference if you're in the upper normal limit range. I think my doctor has me up at like 900, which is where I love to feel. I love to be up there.
Yeah, I can tell you offline about my experience with testosterone, but it's probably not an all ages conversation. So.
Are you out of time yet? Or are you still good for a few more minutes?
I guess I'm good. No one's knocking down my door.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, just let me know whenever you're done. Let's touch real quick on Vivitrol. What would that be used for with somebody in this Suboxone Sublocade
this is the last
arena?
question. I guess I do have patients waiting. Let me ask that. Okay. Vivitrol. I love Vivitrol. Vivitrol is a great medication for early recovery. If you don't know, so Vivitrol is a long-acting version, extended release naltrexone, which is an opiate receptor blocker. So if we can get patients detoxed and get Vivitrol in them, I love it. I think it's a great way to go. I'm actually a speaker for Vivitrol, so they pay me to talk about Vivitrol, so I'm a little biased. But if I can get Vivitrol, if I can get that into somebody, I get it into them. Naltrexone reduces cravings, and if you use, you're blocked. So, like if my 19-year-old son came to me on opiates, and I would try to get him detox and get him on Vivitrol, right? So I love it. I think it's a great. Now it has side effects, and that it's just and I've had patients who didn't tolerate it, and there's some issues, but look, it's a 28-day life insurance policy. It's great. I like it.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So I the hard part is only about 20% of people can get off from opiates to Vivitrol, because you have to get completely detox off everything, and you have to have that period of time. And you can do like a naltrexone challenge and maybe build up a little naltrexone over a few days and give it to them, but it's getting to the point where you can get Vivitrol. It's a big problem for patients, but it's a great medicine. I love it. I use it as much as I can.
Okay, got it. Real quick too, one guy asked Ken about Bill Clinton. I don't know what that even means.
So Ken Starr was the Whitewater prosecutor who died. Actually, Ken Starr died recently. He was a famous Washington D.C. attorney who did congressional investigations. He investigated Bill Clinton, the Monica Lewinsky thing back in the day, and he ended up being like dean of a law school and so forth. He died. So I have the same name as him. So it's obviously over the years it's toned down a bit, but 15 years ago it was like, oh, Ken Starr.
I didn't know if he was like trolling me when he asked me to ask you that. I didn't know what he meant by that, but I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a famous name. There's a famous Washington D.C. attorney.
I gotcha.
Thanks, Kev. Thanks for having me.
I know you got to get going. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Again, I will be putting the link to your channel in the description and in the comment section of this channel. So maybe we can do this again sometime in the future. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Well,
and
thank you for
helping save people's lives every day.
Thanks for having me. I
we'll talk again soon.
And thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's awesome that we can. It's kind of rare to be able to link somebody like myself and yourself together. So, like I said, maybe 6 months down the road we can try to do this again.
And I'll send you the names of some other guests you might want to have on who are really, and maybe you already know about them. I'll send you some friends of mine who also have YouTube channels and do a lot with education and support.
Dude, please do, because I love to have people on here like this. Yeah, please send me that.
Great. All right.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. You can just exit right out.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Woo-wee! All right, guys. Sorry I didn't hit on the super chats. I knew he was running short on time, so let me look at the super chats right now. You guys can't tell me that wasn't freaking awesome. I'm so happy that we had him on here. Give me just a sec, guys. Hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. I still have some time if you guys want to chat. Throw me the questions in the comments now. Or comments or questions, whatever you guys have. You got me for about another half hour or so. 18 people in here. Don't forget to hit the like button for your boy. All right, who sent us some love in the super chats? Let's see. Sorry that I missed that. You guys know that I usually will like stop the show if a super chat comes through, but I had tons of questions written down for him, so I really wanted to nail. I got almost all the questions off, so I'm really glad he could stay as long as he did. All right, so we have Marky Rizzo. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. He says, egg whites, baby. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Kristen B came through with an egg white, $4.99. She didn't say nothing, but Kristen, I appreciate your support as always, my darling. Thank you, thank you. Side note, Kristen, I didn't know you were on Sublicade. I think that was you that posted in the comments the other day that said you're on Sublicade, right? Is that right? Or did I get you mixed up with somebody else? That's awesome. If so, I didn't know that. My boy Mikey coming through with a $3.45 super chat. What's up, Mikey? Good to see you, man. I know I was trying to be solo on the live stream last week for you, Mikey, so I could reply to all your questions. So I didn't see a whole lot of you last week though. So hopefully you're still in here chatting with everybody. So what did you guys think of that? Did you guys get some information from there? I got just about everybody's comment or question that was posted in the little video I did the other day. So it was hard for me to squeeze all that in, guys. That was a lot to go over. So my apologies again for not thanking you guys for the super chat as we were live with him, because there was just so much that I had to go over. All right, I'm gonna catch my breath here for just a moment. Let's see here. Who's all up in here? Say what's up to your boy. That's cool how he recommended or had mentioned at the end there that Deb, yes, that was a great live stream. I love that. It's amazing to me that these shows keep getting better. Like they just keep getting better and better. Hopefully I can maintain that. Glad to see you in the comments, Kev. I appreciate you in here. I was gonna check on you. You'd mentioned that Venmo. I didn't see anything in the Venmo, buddy. Are you sure you got that to the right person? I could wait a minute. Hold on a sec, guys. Venmo's being weird right now. I'll check on that Venmo, Kev, and then I haven't been on Reddit forever, so I'll get on there and respond to you on there. But usually if somebody sends me, like Misty sent me she sent me a Venmo, and it usually always sends me an email as soon as if you send me a Venmo donation, then it sends me like an instant notification. But I've noticed Misty's popped up, but I didn't see anything from anybody else. So I'll look into that, Kev. I appreciate it though if you sent one. Let's see here. Whew. Man, that was almost hard to catch my breath there for some of that. Let's see here. Oh, Deb says the Venmo was under his wife's name. Kevin, I'm emailing you this. What, dude? You sent me $100? Dude, that's freaking sweet of you. Thank you very much. I don't know why it didn't. When did you send that, dude? Because it should have notified me like immediately. Hold on a sec, guys. Oh, right at the hour and 33 mark, of course, we get kicked off again. You guys still hear me okay? We good? Let's see here. But shout out to you, Kevin, for sending that. That is awesome. I will definitely clarify that I got that and let you know. Thank you, Kevin. You're such a badass. By the way, Kevin, that would be the largest donation that this channel has ever received. So shout out to you, brother, for really helping me out. I appreciate that more than you know, man. Thank you, dude. That's awesome of you to do that. Thank you, bro. Who else is in here? I just seen, let's see. Zach, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. Did you hear what we were talking? Did you hear that, Zach? We were talking about, I tried to get some information for all of you guys who are on the low doses of Suboxone. So it does seem that there could be a way out for you guys that are on that last, half milligram or so. You could be able to just get half of the 100 milligram shot and just move on with your life. That way you don't have to spend, 6 months tapering down to a quarter. Or you heard him say he gets some people down to half of a quarter, 0.125. Yay, Kev. Hey, Deb. Did you guys see that guy talking about steroids? That was funny. I seem to get more like steroid trolls lately. It's kind of funny. Can't wait to show them the pictures of when I was actually on steroids. They're gonna really be calling out the calling out the juice train then. I look like a little wimpy boy right now. You want to see some steroids? I'll show you some. I do miss the steroid days, even though I'm not trying to promote steroids, guys. That was a very hard addiction for me to break. I was addicted to steroids. The only way I could get off of steroids was with the help of testosterone replacement therapy. It's almost, you could almost look at TRT as like a Suboxone to an opiate addict, right? Like that's kind of how I looked at it. It's just like if a man's testosterone levels are low, like it's not a good way to go. It is very dangerous for a man to have low testosterone like I had, especially being hooked on opiates and then also coming off of testosterone. Side note, are any of you guys interested in about hearing about like my steroid addiction? I would love to make a video. If any of you guys are struggling with addiction to steroids in the future, or if you're seeing this on the replay, let me know and I'll make a video talking about my steroid addiction history because I know a lot about steroids. I talk to a lot of people who do fitness shows. I have a lot of friends who are IFBB pros who are doing, steroids year round. So if you guys ever want me to make a video talking about steroids or my steroid history, just let me know and I'll throw something together for you. As you guys know, I'm very passionate about fitness. So it's something that I like to talk about. Shout out to Deb coming through with a $20 super chat, Deb. Oh, damn you little sweetie. Deb, thank you for your help in the chat today. I noticed that you were posting the links as you always do. You're literally like the biggest help for this channel. Everybody, if you don't know who Deb is, send her a thank you message in the live chat or on the replay because she makes my job doing what I'm doing. I mean, you guys see the notes that I have here, guys. Like I've been thinking about this show for like a week now. It's not, as you guys know, there's maybe one other person on YouTube doing what we're doing here, like getting quality interviews like we had today. It's not easy to reach out to people, and it's not easy for these people to even want to be coming on my show, right? Like it takes a lot of stuff to put this together. So I'm glad that you guys are appreciating my work here and showing me some love with the super chats. It really lets me know that you guys are liking what you're seeing, right? So you guys are all thanking me with that, and I really appreciate any little cent you guys send me. It's much appreciated, guys. It's obviously not required, but it is very appreciated. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Thank you, Deb. You're such a sweetheart for financial help and also all the work that you do on the channel. Side note, Deb, did you see the comment that I made about when we had Kevin on the live stream? I didn't notice when he was on. So if my normies, if you're in here, if you notice that the screen is like really small for the guest, remind me to have them tip their phone to the side because I didn't realize when Kevin was on that his phone was, if your phone is like this, it's going to make the video really small on one side. So if you go to the wide screen, then it will spread it out. So if you guys ever notice that, or Deb, if you ever notice that in the future, please let me know so I can have the guest fix that. Because I don't want my boy Kev to look all small like that, how he did on that video that we did. Jamie says, thank you, Deb and Kevin. Yes, definitely got to send, we all got to thank Deb for all the work that she does on this channel. She's awesome and amazing, and she's just great. We definitely, yeah, I wasn't sure if you seen the comment that I said back to you talking about that. But yeah, I didn't notice it either till I'm kind of weird. Like I'll go back, like I'll probably watch this video that we did today probably like 4 times because as you guys know, like it's hard to keep the conversation going and digest everything that he was saying to me. There's so many things that I get from going back and watching the show extra times. Like, I'll watch this show probably later tonight, and I'll be like, I didn't even realize I was saying these things, or I didn't realize he was saying those things. I don't know if you guys can relate to me, but it's so hard to be fully present in the moment and keep the conversation going and like make sure everything's going fine on the screen with you guys. Like, there's just a lot going on. It might look like it's just simple stuff that I'm doing here, but trust me, it's a lot of work for me. My brain don't really work all that fast, so there's just like tons going on in my brain as I'm trying to keep the guest talking and going over valid points. Kevin says, I watch all your videos but mine. I can't watch your Suboxone taper videos. I can't do it. I just can't. What, you have flashbacks or what, Kev? Kev, we need to get you to start a YouTube channel, man. I know how passionate you are about this, dude, and I know that you would reach so many people, and I would love to help you expand your channel, man. Trust me, I would send every freaking subscriber I have your way. So if you ever want to start a YouTube channel, or if any of you guys that support me and you watch me, if you guys have a recovery channel, please let me know in the comments, and I'll go watch your channel and I'll support you as well. This message needs to be spoken about, by a lot of people, and the more people that are talking about this, the more people, you're gonna have other options, and you're gonna meet other friends online. Like, it can really help to, like, you see Deb and Zach, they're like kind of taper buddies, right? And they probably met through my channel. Like, you kind of just meet your people in this arena of YouTube videos. Oh man, sorry guys, I'm like kind of out of breath. Let me take a little drink of water, lemon water today. Side note, guys, if you guys are dealing with constipation, squeeze 2 lemons into a gallon of water and just sip on this throughout the week. And this will really help your constipation without having to take, stool softeners and stuff. Just make sure that you guys are all staying hydrated. And I tell everybody that's on Suboxone or Sublicade, keep track of your daily poos, because you want to be making sure that you're getting enough out. And if you're not, then you need to figure out how you can get some stuff moving. Hey, Rob, how are you, buddy? Whew, your boy been talking today. Oh my gosh, that was so freaking fun. He was so easy to talk to, too. I love that. Oh my gosh, you guys, when he mentioned that about his brother, I started like feeling so like, I was like, I could tell he was getting emotional when he was talking about his brother. That was so sad. You can tell that's probably why he's so passionate about helping people, and that is amazing, like, to hear that. And that's how Dr. Chris Park was. Same thing. Doc Chris Park lost his best friend, and then I think that's what got him to going into addiction medicine. I really do. From when I was talking to Doc Chris Park about it. Shout out to Doc Chris Park. If you guys don't know him, go check out his channel. It's so awesome to be able to make like friends through my YouTube channel like this. You guys are all like my little family, and we're all just slowly growing and we're attracting our people, and we're all meeting our type of people here. Yeah, just like Doc Park. Let's see here. Let me touch on some comments here. Hey, Mark, good to see you, man. You must have, I thought you weren't going to be able to make it here. Mark says, I don't get constipated on subs. I go daily. The pills got me COS big time. Yeah, pills got me. Oh, the pills got you constipated big time. Yeah, that's good, man. Side note too, if you guys are on Suboxone and you're having trouble with constipation, what I would do in that situation is I would just wait. I would push off my Suboxone dose until I woke up. I pounded a bunch of water. I went for a walk or a jog. Whatever you have to do, just push off your dose for the day until you're able to have a successful bathroom break, and then take your Suboxone dose. Because for me, if I was ever constipated, as soon as I took my dose for the day, I wasn't going to be able to go to the bathroom. So just a heads up for you guys, a little tip, I guess, if you may call it. Just push off your Suboxone dose until you use the bathroom, and then take it. Zach says, organic extra virgin olive oil. For constipation, Zach, is that what you're saying? Kev says addiction doesn't discriminate. Doesn't discriminate. Doctors, brother. Continue with the video last week, Kev. I was at work. Sorry that you missed me. Yeah, man, I was watching for your comments, but I was like, where the heck is Mikey at? How are you feeling, Mikey? You still in pain, man? Side note, Deb, how you doing on your taper? Zach, what about you too, buddy? You guys still right around that 0.33? I think you guys were at last week. Let me know how you guys are doing. Deb and Zach are both on like very small doses right now, guys, and they've been working on their tapers. So shout out to you guys. I know that just thinking back on my days of when I was tapering, I know how hard it is to get down to the lower doses that you guys are on. So I just want to send a shout out to you guys. Keep your heads up. You guys are getting so close to the end. So keep on killing it, guys. So Deb, damn, Deb, you're getting down to the 0.25 zone. You guys are chugging along. It's awesome to see this. How about you, Zach? Where are you at, man? Yes, it keeps your guts nice. That's good to know, dude. I have some of that in my cupboard, so I didn't know that. I take fish, was it fish oil pills? Isn't that pretty much the same thing? Is fish oil and extra virgin olive oil kind of the same thing for your guts? Let's see here. Kev says, if you're dealing with constipation, get on Sublicade and get off Suboxone. 15 years of constipation. It's funny. Some people I see say constipation is not as bad on Sublicade, but then I see other people say it's worse. So it must be very dose dependent, I think. For me, it's weird. It's kind of different how it works because when I was on Suboxone, it was like I would start to go into withdrawal in the morning time. So I could easily use the bathroom in the morning time, first thing in the morning, right? Where on Sublicade, how it's like the steady stream, I don't have the doses kicking in and kicking out. It's almost like I kind of use the bathroom maybe like later in the day. It's different. It's definitely different. I'm not sure what way I prefer actually thinking about it. It's kind of weird to think about, but it definitely changes. Shout out to my people that just barely got put on Sublicade. I think it was Cameron was one of them. Who else was it? Who else? Are you in here now? Is it Scott was one of them, I think. CR. Who else just barely got on Sublicade? You guys let me know how you guys are doing. I wanna keep you guys know I'm very interested in what dose of Suboxone did you come from? What dose of Sublicade did you get on, and how are you feeling? Because I think I told you guys last week, I already have the video made. It's gonna be labeled something like the official Share Your Sublicade Experience video. So Kev, I'm expecting to see a good post from you on that one. That video should be posted within the next week or so. And I'm going to limit the comments to only people who have experience with Sublicade, okay, guys? Because I want a place for people to come who are considering Sublicade to be able to read everybody's experience. What dose of Suboxone were you on? What dose of Sublicade did you go to? And how did you feel? Are you off of Sublicade now? Did you have to go back on Suboxone? Like, I want all these comments in one video. So I'm going to be pushing that video here soon, and I'm going to be making sure that all you guys who are just recently getting on Sublicade, that you go share your story for the other people in the future that are interested in Sublicade. They'll have a place to go read what worked, what didn't work. I'm seeing some people that came from like 24 milligrams of Suboxone. They got the 300 milligram shot. They felt like maybe it was a little not enough in some ways. Some people who get on, say, 8 milligrams of Suboxone to the 300 milligram shot, they're saying it's very strong for like a week or two, and then they're totally normal after that. So I just want a place where everybody can read everybody's experience. I think that's going to be an awesome video for all the people in the future for Sublicade. Was there any questions that I missed asking him that you guys wish that I would have asked? If there is, and you're watching this on the replay, put a comment in the question and maybe he can come over, because obviously he has a YouTube channel. If there's an important question that I missed asking him, please drop the comment in the question below, and we'll see if we can get him to come reply to some of those. You guys don't forget to go subscribe to his channel. I was looking through his videos. He has some awesome videos. They're very to the point. They're not like mine where, I just talk about this stuff for 4 hours at a time. I know some of you guys probably drives you insane that I talk for so long about this stuff, but I just, like I told him at the first of the call, I was like, I could talk to you about this stuff for 8 hours straight, man. It's just such a big part of my life. So, but his videos are very short and to the point, and you can get a lot of information in a short amount of time on his channel. So if you have questions about NAD, the bridge device, Suboxone, Sublocade, Vivitrol, Ketamine, testosterone, go check out his channel. He talks about all that stuff. Again, the link will be in the description box of this channel. Thanks, Deb, for posting Chris Park's YouTube channel. Always, I can't recommend enough people go check out Dr. Chris Park's YouTube channel. He's a good friend of mine, so shout out to him if he hears this. Let's see here. Mark Brown says, I usually get free time around 7:30 p.m., but was free at 6:30. I'm Eastern time. Are you over in Florida, Mark? So 6:30 Eastern, that would be 4:30 here. Okay, so you've been on here for like 20 minutes or so. Let's see. Let me read some more comments here. So Mark says, I'm on 4 months of subs. Should I be clean a full year before I taper, Kev? Mark, I think, I don't know. It's really up to you and how you're feeling and kind of what your doctor says. I mean, I felt like, thinking back on my past, that I needed at least 6 to 12 months on Suboxone. And that's 6 to 12 months of being clean and staying on Suboxone and not relapsing, right? Not going back and forth. I'd say, 6 to 12 months would be a good amount of time to build some stability in your life, and then talk to your doctor about tapering, maybe somewhere around 6 to 12 months if you feel like you're ready for it. But I always say on this channel that it's not a rush to get off of Suboxone. You'll know when it's your time to start tapering. It'll start to become very clear, that maybe you don't need Suboxone like you used to need it. You feel like you're not at risk for relapsing. And that is, honestly, that's the number one goal on my channel, is for you guys not to relapse. It's not rushing off of Suboxone. It's not switching over to Sublicade. The number one goal is to make sure that you guys do not relapse. Okay, I want to make that very clear. I know it seems like I'm being very pro Sublicade lately, and I am, and that's only because how much better that I'm feeling now that I am on Sublicade. But the number one thing is to not relapse, you guys. There's so many people dying from overdose, so many fake fentanyl pill or fake Oxy 30s now that are actually fentanyl, like just one fake pill off the streets, guys, and it could be lights out. You're taking a dirt nap, and we don't want that to happen to you. So you guys stay on Sublicade as long as you need to. You stay on Suboxone as long as you need to. The time will be in your heart as far as when you need to taper off. And really only you will know that, Mark. So just think about that, man. If it's somewhere, 6 to 12 months and you feel like you're ready to start tapering, then that's what you can do. If you don't even want to bother with tapering, you could stay on Suboxone 6 to 12 months, switch over to Sublicade, and let Sublicade do the work if you have insurance or if you have the funds to pay for Sublicade. I think it's the first time I've seen you in here before. Let's see. It says, Kevin, thank you. You're welcome, brother. So Kev says, Kevin, whatever you need, I'm in. Live stream, comments, referrals, I am all in on this. Can we talk you into starting a YouTube channel, Kev? Just the way that you were talking with me, Kev, on my channel, I can see it so clearly that you would do so good on your own channel. And I would love to be on your channel. Side note, if any of you guys are content creators and you would like to interview me how I'm interviewing others, I would love to be on your channel and be able to speak with you about whatever you'd like to. So just drop me a comment if that's you and you have a channel and you'd like me to be on your channel. I'm more than willing to do that. Let's see here. Jamie says, me, I got my first shot of 300 yesterday. Look how many people are getting on the shot, you guys. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people, like a lot of people getting on Sublicade recently. She says, I've got my first shot of 300 milligrams yesterday and I feel great. I had a lot of energy today. Good, Jamie. That's awesome. Congratulations. Remind me, Jamie, what dose of Suboxone were you on? Sorry, you guys are always, you guys might as well, let me just say going forward that you people that are sharing with me that you're just got on Sublicade or you're getting on Sublicade, you might as well just tell me I'm coming from X amount of Suboxone and I'm going on X amount of Sublicade. Because if you don't, I'm going to ask you because I'm so curious about how doctors are doing these transition doses. Because I believe that the right transition dose is a pretty important thing as far as getting somebody to get out of the habit of daily dosing Suboxone. You know, if you're way underdosed, and let's say you come from 24 milligrams of Suboxone and your doctor, for whatever reason, only gave you the 100 milligram shot, like you're going to be lagging pretty low, you know? So it's pretty important that they at least get the dose kind of in the ballpark range. Your body will adjust after a few days, but it's pretty important that your doctor knows what they're doing. And we're talking to a lot of people on this channel that are transitioning, so we're getting a lot of information for that will really help people in the future. Just imagine how much more information we're going to have about transitioning from Suboxone to Sublicade in 3 years from now. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be it's going to be so easy by then. We're going to have so many people's stories. So many people have, you know, are going to be sharing their stuff. It's going to be, I bet you like 5 years from now, there's going to be a ton of Sublicade YouTube channels. So hopefully I'm looked at as one of the OG YouTube Sublicade channels. I feel like I've already earned that with Suboxone. I mean, I've been doing videos for over 4 years now. I can't believe it took me 4 years to get to 2,000 subscribers. That sucks. But to my fault, you know, I was only making like one video a month for like the first couple of years, like very spaced out. But I am seeing traction, you know, as I'm working a lot harder lately, as you guys have seen. I'm seeing the subscribers go up a lot faster, you know, with the more that I work, obviously, the more the subscribers are and the views are going up. So if you guys are able to share these videos with whoever, a friend that might be struggling, or I don't know, a relative, something, feel free to share the video. That will help the platform grow. Always, as I always say, guys, the likes are free. If you're watching this on the replay group and you got like any nuggets of information, feel free to show me some love with a super sticker. That always helps. You guys were great today on the super chat, so I really appreciate that. Again, that lets me know that you guys are enjoying the work that I'm putting in for you guys. Let's see here. So Jamie, okay, so she was on 16. Sorry, I've been getting like the sexes wrong, so hopefully I've been like calling some ladies guys and some guys ladies, so hopefully I'm calling this right. So Jamie was on 16 milligrams, and so I think that's like the perfect dose if you're going to go from 16 milligrams to 300. So I think you're going to do great, Jamie, at that dose. No Cap, what's up, man? Good to see you. Says call you OG subs. Yeah, I've been in the sub game for a long time. Just a quick side note, guys. I wanted to talk about that for a minute. So I just realized right now that this is my 2 month to the day of being on Sublicade. You guys have seen that I've come off successfully from Ambien. 13 years I could not get off of Ambien, but I've gotten off since I've been on Sublicade. What else, guys? So the first month I had a stockpile of Suboxone, and if I could go back, knowing what I know, remembering how I felt that first month, I felt like we nailed the dose like perfectly as far as 4 milligrams to 150 milligrams. If I would go, if I redid this whole thing again and knowing how I felt that whole month, I would have got rid of my Suboxone stash the second day that I was on Sublicade. Deb, do you want to get that? Looks like we've got some troll sex site stuff. If you could wipe them out for good, Deb, I'd appreciate that. Where was I going with that? Okay, so 2 months from today, 2 months ago today, my first shot, I almost can't feel it anymore or see it. It's like almost gone. My second shot is still pretty hard. I don't know. I'll just show you guys. Just if you guys want to know what it looks like, I'll show you if you haven't seen it already. So let's see. So this is my first shot. Let's see. I almost can't see it anymore. That's my first shot. Can you guys see it? If I relax, you can kind of see it a little bit better. So it's pretty soft right there, but that's almost gone. I almost can't feel it anymore. And then that's my second shot. That's 1 month old. It's still pretty hard feeling. It feels like there's like a little eraser in there, but that's what it looks like, guys. That's 1 month old, and that's 2 months old. So I'm thinking by the third month, this will be totally gone. Thanks, Deb, for getting that. Whew, it's getting hot up in here. What else here? Jamie says, Mark, that's great. Keep it up, as I was on 8 milligrams and went back up to 16 over some surgeries I had. That's another thing too, is that I could tell a lot of people are struggling with their Suboxone dose escalating. I'm seeing a lot of people say, how do I say this? Like they would say, I'm going from 1.5 or 2 milligrams of Suboxone to the 100 milligram Sublicade. And then it's like as the weeks go on, they're like, I'm actually up to like 4 or 5 milligrams. And it just reminds me, because I can relate to that so much, you guys. There were so many times that my dose started to creep back up. So I want you guys to really keep an eye on that. You know, it doesn't take more than a few days of you taking higher doses before you're like way back off track again. As you guys know, it's easy to taper up, or it's easy for your dose to escalate, but it's hard to get it back down. So if you catch yourself slipping on your Suboxone dose, try to catch yourself quick and get back on track, because you can erase, 2, 3, 4 months of taper work in a matter of a week or two just by escalating your dose for a week, right? I've done that many times, guys. So I know that I'm not the only one that's ever done that. So if you guys are starting to slip up on your dose, or if you're having an off day or two and you think that I'm just going to take a little bit higher, like just really watch yourself. That little devil on your shoulder can get you in a long, in a really long road if you let it. So just be mindful of that, guys. Always be mindful of the little devil on your shoulder telling you, if I take a little bit more, I'll feel better today. Like, don't let that. And that's definitely something that I can honestly say I do not miss about Suboxone. Like, I can look you guys 100% in the eye and tell you, I swear to God that I don't even think about Suboxone anymore unless I'm doing responses to the channel. It doesn't even cross my mind. And how is that possible after only being on Sublicade for 2 months? I don't know how that's possible. It's freaking mind blowing, guys. Because as you guys know, for 5 years, I've been stuck on Suboxone. Every freaking day, I'll be watching the clock. When's my next dose? When's my next dose? And for my brain to be able to rewire in less than 2 months' time to not even think about something that was so important to me every day, that's incredible. That really is incredible to me. And I know that when it comes time for the Sublicade to slowly drift out of my system, that's going to come in clutch as far as me not freaking myself out. Am I in withdrawal? Like, I'm not going to be really thinking about it because, first of all, I'm not going to know when it's going to fully come out of my system. Second of all, it's going to come out so slow that I shouldn't even feel it. You guys heard that second that he said, I haven't heard of any withdrawals. And that's like, as soon as he said that, I was like, dude, this is gold. Like any doubts that I might have had about coming off of Sublicade and like suffering some horrendous withdrawal, like any possible doubts I had about that, like as soon as I seen the way he reacted to my question about that, I was like, I made the right choice. I'm on the right path. So, yeah, guys, it's good to know that all the homework that I've done and reading everybody's stories led me to the path that I'm on now. And it just feels really good. I feel like there's just a huge weight lifted off my shoulder. I really do, as far as being so paranoid about the day that I stopped taking Suboxone. I just don't want to have to think about that anymore. And if you guys are in that position and you're struggling right now, chances are you can make it. Just keep going and be patient. It might take you, it might take you a year or whatever, 6 months or a year to taper. But I'm confident that once we all get there, guys, and whether that's a Sublicade route or if it's tapering down to a tiny dose and then getting off, I think that we can all make it, guys. Um, it might not be the easiest thing in the world for us to all get clean, but I'm pretty sure that one at a time, we'll all get there, guys. So just don't ever give up on yourself. I know it's easy to feel hopeless at times. So if you guys are struggling right now, do whatever you got to do. Pray if you need to. Um, Work on your health and fitness and your diet. That stuff really goes a long way. Just keep working. Just don't ever give up, guys. That's all I ask. I hate when I know that, like, I have felt hopeless at times in the past, and I don't want you guys to feel that way, okay? So I hope that our little family here can keep growing and supporting each other. It looks like we have 20 people in here, so shout out to all you guys that are in here chatting with us right now. I really thank all of you guys for all of your comments and support. It really means a lot to me. I'm not sure as far as, let me think. Next week, I'm just trying to think about next week's live stream. Also, you guys, side note, you guys have noticed that I'm starting to like dabble with other types of content. So be patient with me, guys. I'm just trying to find different ways to attract more views to the channel. If you guys see a comment, like if you see a video that you don't really like, just don't even worry about watching it, okay? I'm just trying to think of creative ways to bring more eyes to the channel, so we can get more views on the channel, right? But you guys know I'm always at heart. I'm going to be here for all my people in the Suboxone, all the people on the Sublicade, all the people who are struggling with opiate addiction. Like that's where my heart will always be with you guys on the channel, and we will always talk about that stuff on the channel because I know it's so important to you guys, and it's still important to me too. Let me touch on some more comments, guys. Maybe wrap it up in the next 5 or 10 minutes if we could. Let's see here. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Hold on a second here. Just a moment here. Let's see here. Wait, what? Roberta? Oh, I've been watching this on TV. Oh, you're watching me on TV? Is that what you're saying? This has been a great show. Hey, thank you, Roberta. I appreciate it. Rachel's also on the 16 milligrams too. Kingdom Within says, thank you for caring, bro. Yeah, I definitely care about you guys. You guys are all my crew, my road dogs. It's also nice to see some new names in here too. Let's see here. You can do this, Kingdom. Who else is in here? Yeah, Deb, it's starting to hit me too. Ouch, long night again. So you guys are struggling through your taper right now? Rachel, my doctor wants me to take the dose all at once in the morning. I said, not yet. I just stopped sub naps. Yeah, I remember talking to you about the sub naps. Um, yeah, it does seem like most doctors want people to take their Suboxone once a day, and it's probably for obvious reasons. So it's not on your mind all day, but for a lot of people that doesn't work because the one dose hits you strong, and then by the later at night, you feel like you're kind of missing something. So a lot of people need to take their dose twice a day. Let's see, who else is in here? How many likes we got? Did we get to 20 likes, guys? Let me take a look. We got to Oh, we got to 19 likes, guys. Somebody get that over 20 for me real quick. We're so close. Let's see here. I'm hoping that YouTube gives me the green light on this video, so hopefully this posts right away. But if you guys try to go back and watch on the replay crew and you don't see it for a day or two, you might have to wait till Friday or so. It just depends on YouTube has been really spotty lately as far as giving me the green light or not. So I'm not sure if they're going to give me the instant approval on this video or not. Hey, shout out to you, Kingdom. Says refresh it. I'm your 20th like. Thank you. Good job. So yeah, side note, guys, if you try to find this video, as soon as I close this stream and it's not there, then that means YouTube hasn't approved it yet. And it might take a day or two for them to manually review it. Deb says, Mark, cut your dose in 4, 1 every 6 hours. Yeah, he could do that too. Yeah, you guys, sometimes people have to play with their dose. Sometimes people take it 2, 3, 4 times a day. Let's see here. Mark, what about just doing like, I bet you could do good with like 4-4-4, buddy. You should try that. You should try tampering with it. I bet that would really work for you. And I bet you would feel better if you got rid of that 8 dose in the middle. As you heard earlier, Mark, I'm not sure if you were here for or not when he said that, but he says a lot of people feel better on the lower doses, and that's freaking true. So if you start adjusting your doses a little bit, Mark, as long as you're not at any risk of relapse, which it doesn't sound like you are, I really think if you tried like 4 milligrams, 4 milligrams, and 4 milligrams, I bet you'd be golden. And you definitely won't be taking naps at that point. See, look at that. Another person, Zandra. That's a cool name. Zandra Bryant. Thanks for posting that. She says, I got my first Sublicade injection today after 4 years of Suboxone. Yay! Congrats to you, man. Look at how many people are getting on this Sublicade, you guys. This is so freaking awesome. This makes me so happy. You guys make sure and tell me, how long it takes you to stop taking oral doses of Suboxone as soon as you get the shot. I want you guys to focus on that as like your #1 priority. For you guys that are just getting the shot, the first thing that you should be concerned about is trying to stop that daily dosing. You really shouldn't need Suboxone anymore once you get the shot, and I'm talking from day 1. You really shouldn't need it. You really shouldn't need it, you guys. It's just as simple as that. There are some people that struggle with like maybe the last couple weeks of the first month, but definitely by the time you get your second shot, like I was saying earlier, if I could go back, I would have gotten rid of my subs from day 2, because I didn't need it. Like if you're not going through insomnia, if you're not getting restless legs, if you're not having extreme runny stuff going on, then you're not in withdrawal, and you don't need to take oral subs. I know it does take. It took me what, I would say maybe the first week was a little bit of a struggle to like not think about Suboxone, but as soon as I knew, it's like I'm okay. I'm like my dose is here. I don't need nothing. as soon as you just realize that your dose is already in you, then you should be good, guys. Just remember that every day that you don't take Suboxone is every day that your brain is healing and telling itself that you don't need to be putting something under your tongue just to feel normal or to keep you out of withdrawal. So congrats to all you guys. I can't believe how many people I'm seeing that are just got on their Sublicade shot, or they're just getting on their Sublicade shot, or they have their Sublicade shot coming up soon. There's a lot of you guys. Kevin says, Kevin says, 2 hours and 15 minutes in, I can do this all night, baby. Kevin's like me, man. We could talk about this. We could do like maybe when we hit 2,000 subscribers, we should do like a 8 hour marathon stream. That'd be fun, Kev. What do you think? We'll do like I don't know. It would be fun to do like a super long stream, just a chill stream. Everybody just casual and chilling. You guys know me. I'm always casual, always up in the tank top season. Even if we had snow today in Utah, finally, still out here in the tank tops, baby, baby, baby. Jamie says, yes, when I lowered my dose, I felt so much better. Yes. Yeah, like when I have too much subs in my system, I just felt off. I just felt like medicine. I felt like medicine ball. Rachel B says, I got to run, guys. Catch you all next week. Thanks, Kevin and Doctor. Hey, thanks, Rachel, for showing up. You're always in here, so thank you very much for the comments, and have a great day. Kingdom says, I'm game. I've done a 5-hour stream. Hey, you got a YouTube channel, Kingdom? Is that what I'm understanding, or are you talking about with somebody else? Yeah, 2,000 subs is coming up quick, guys. Kevin says you're hitting 2,000 by next Wednesday. Watch. It could be close, man. It's like some days I'll get like a big group of them, of new subscribers, and then some days I'll have like -1 or -2. I'm like, hey, who left? Who's unsubscribing? Probably the people that don't like me like switching up to like fitness content or like some of the other videos I've talked about, like tattoos and stuff. You guys have seen I've done some random ass videos lately, so be patient with me, guys. Mark says, I don't want to take it more than 2 times a day. I'm still not used to not needing pain pills 4 to 5 doses a day. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing good on 2 times a day, that's just find what works best for you, honestly, is what it comes down to. Hey, Ethan, good to see you, man. Just got out of a golf tournament. How'd you do, brother? You bring home that W? Oh, Kingdom Within has a channel. All right, I'll check that out, man. Let me write that down. As I mentioned earlier, too, if you guys have a YouTube recovery channel, please drop the name of your channel, and I'd like to go check it out. So, Kingdom Within. I'll go check that out, man. That's awesome. Thank you. I love to see new content creators. What part of Utah are you in? So I'm about 30 minutes north of Salt Lake. Are you in Utah? Let's see here. I love the fitness videos. Yeah, I remember you talking about getting back into fitness, Mark. Have you been working on that? I know how it feels to lose subs every now and then because of the type of stuff I cover. Many people have a problem with it. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's on your channel. I stay in Salem, Utah. Salem, that sounds like that's out south. Is that like around Price or Provo? Kind of sounds like it's out that way. No, I was qualifying for a Houston Open. Don't quite make it. Oh, dang, dude, that sucks. You tried, brother. Past Spanish Fort. Yeah, so yeah, out there around the Provo area, right? Yeah, I think I've heard of Salem. I think I've been there. That's like on the way to Vegas, I believe. Anybody else that watches my channel in Utah? If so, leave me a comment. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody's question. Hopefully I got enough questions asked. I feel like we dove pretty deep into what we needed to dive into. I love that part when I asked him about the Sublicade withdrawal because I really didn't know what he was going to say. And I didn't want to like say what my doctor said, but, and like I didn't want to skew what he was going to say. I wanted to just fully see what he was going to say about it. So when he was like, I haven't heard of any withdrawals off Sublicade, that aligns perfectly what everybody on Reddit was saying. And I forgot to mention Kevin's saying on Reddit. I was going to say, my boy Kevin here created this saying called Suboxone saved my life and Sublicade saved me from Suboxone. And I wanted to get the doctor's opinion on what he thought about that because it's a great saying and that's awesome that we got my boy here, Kev, that came up with that. Ethan, the stream was awesome, man. We freaking nailed it. He was on here for about an hour and a half with me. Hopefully YouTube gives me the green light so I can post this immediately. But they've been kind of iffy on doing that, so you might not be able to see this video till Friday if they don't instantly approve it. I'm getting so tempted to take a dose of Kratom. Are you on Sublicade? Or what are you on, Kingdom? I thought I read you were on. Did you say? Let's see. Let me scroll up here. And my apologies for all. I'm sure that I missed tons of great comments earlier as him and I were going, but hopefully you guys had some good. Hopefully you guys had some good talks without me. I'm sure I missed some awesome comments here earlier in the stream. Let's see here. Oh, so Kingdom just takes Kratom. Yeah, Kratom was tricky, man. Kratom's tricky for a lot of people. Did you use Kratom to get off? Did you get off of Kratom? Like, what did you use before Kratom? I use Kratom when I run out of pills. The taste is nasty as fuck. What's your opinion on Kratom, Kingdom? I was addicted to Oxy, but I went cold turkey 4 years ago, but now I take Kratom. So that's awesome, dude. Props to you for getting off of Oxy. Yeah. I definitely think that's a great move to go from Oxy to Kratom. For sure. I don't think I hear of anybody overdosing and dying off of Kratom. Like especially with all the fake drugs out there. How much Kratom do you take every day? I know some people that take Kratom daily, they can get some really high tolerance for that stuff. I apologize for pounding you with comments for 2 hours and 24 minutes. I get a bit excited. No, you're good, dude. You're good. Yeah, I'm sure there was tons, like I said, there was probably a ton of comments that I missed, but you guys know how it is when I'm talking to the guest, I can't really hit on comments hardly at all. Let's see here. I've still got some time if you guys want to chill for a little bit longer. We can drag this out all night. Deb, you still in here, girl? How you doing? I haven't seen Callie Love in here. I mentioned her earlier because I know she's in California. I was trying to get her linked up with Dr. Ken because her doctor won't administer her first Sublicade shot. So I've actually spoke to Callie and she's like 3 hours away from Dr. Ken. So maybe she could make the drive. I think it would definitely be worth it for her if she's able to make that drive. I mean, like knowing what I know and what I've gone through, I would drive 3 hours to get my first Sublicade shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I already read that. Oh, yep, Deb's still here. All right. Just make sure you stay here, girl. In my honest opinion, Kratom was a dream come true when I first started taking it, and now it's just meh. I started with 5 grams every 8 hours, 3 times per day. Now at 8 grams every 6 hours, 3 times a day. Yeah, I totally understand. I think kratom is a lot like Suboxone. There's like a honeymoon period. Like people that first find it, you know, it's like that miracle. It's like that miracle drug for the first 6, 12 months, you know, until all this like the newness wears off. And a lot of people are like that with Suboxone too. You know what I mean? Like I've been talking a lot about this honeymoon period lately. Have you ever, let me ask you, Kingdom, have you ever thought about getting on low dose Suboxone to get off of kratom? I think that could definitely be, I don't know if you have any experience with Suboxone, but I believe that you could do a low dose of Suboxone to get off of kratom and then taper off of kratom later, or taper off of Suboxone later on down the road. Just something to think about. I know I myself tried getting off of Suboxone with low doses of kratom, and I couldn't do it. It didn't really end up working for me, so I just got back on low doses of Suboxone. The thing I don't like about kratom is that the half-life is so short that you have to take it many times a day for it to work. Like I was going into withdrawal in my sleep because the half-life is so short. So I just had to think about kratom a lot more hours out of the day than I had to with Suboxone. There you go, Deb. Yeah, if you guys are interested in kratom stuff, go check out Kingdom Within's channel. I haven't seen his channel yet, but seems like a cool person here in here chatting with us. So feel free to go check it out if you're interested in kratom stuff. Is your channel mostly like, are you trying to help people get off kratom or get off of opiates, or like, what is your channel like about? Is it about kratom addiction, or like, if you could wrap it up as far as like what your channel is generally about? What's your message on your channel? I'll definitely go check it out, though. I've got it written down here, and I'm sure you'll probably get some new subscribers from us talking about it here. I just did my first kratom video 2 weeks ago, but my channel is about hidden truths. Awesome, dude. That's freaking great. Yeah, I'm gonna go check you out here soon for sure. I kind of think I might have seen your uh your avatar thing looks familiar here, the KW, because that's actually my initials. So I think I've seen that before. I think I might have seen some of your. Oh, well, I guess if you just did a video, I don't know. I'm sure I'll recognize you. I see so many of these videos on YouTube. Let's see here. Would love to do a podcast with you, bro. Yeah, let's do it. We'll have to do it sometime. I'll drop a comment on your channel and kind of see like how we could set something up. Yeah, I love to team up though and do videos with people. It's a good time. I enjoy meeting new people and like bringing new people together. It sounds like my voice is starting to kind of go out here. Anybody have any like last questions or comments before we shut her down? We'll go to about 2.5 hours. We're getting close here. Whew, my voice is spent, guys. Whew. Oh my gosh, that lemon water tastes great. They're great. Yeah, sounds good for sure. Yeah, we'll have to get something figured out here soon. I'm not sure next week if I'm going to do a solo channel again, solo video. I'm not really sure what I've got planned for next week, but oh, just a quick side note, guys, on my Sublicade. So it's been 2 months since I got my first shot. My first shot was 150 milligrams. My second shot was just 100 milligrams. My third shot is going to be 100 milligrams, but pushed out to 5 weeks. So I'm now spacing out my addiction even more than I already have been with a Sublicade shot. And then my fourth and final shot is going to be pushed out to like 6 or 7 weeks from my third shot. Does that make sense, guys? So it's like I'm tapering by spacing out the dose. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's the plan for me, guys, is to, let me just put some dates on that real quick. So I should be getting my third shot November 9th, and then I'm going to push my last fourth shot off to all the way to December 28th. So that's 7 weeks in between shots. So that way I'm not building my tolerance so high, right? And I'm pushing out the doses really far between doses. So I'm preparing my body and my mind to not need my every month on the month dose. So I'm just spacing out my doses further and further, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And then we'll ride off into the sunset, and God willing, by next spring or summer sometime, I don't have a withdrawal to pay. As the doctor said. He said that's how it should go. That lines up with everybody's story, most people's stories that I'm reading. I don't want to say everybody, because there's obviously some people that do still have some kind of withdrawal, although they all have said that it's a much more minor withdrawal. Kevin Squared, K2. Sweet Kevin, it makes sense. Proud of you, man. Hey, thanks, Mark. Proud of you too, man, for doing what you're doing. And I don't think you heard it earlier, but if you go back to the beginning of this video, I sent you a shout out for the super sticker that you placed on the replay. You're part of the replay crew. So you've sent me a couple super stickers over the last month or so. So I really appreciate your support. So let's see here. Let me touch on today's before I let you guys go. I want to say thank you to who donated today. Give me just 1 second here. Man, you guys were going off in the comments here today. And for some reason, it's not showing me now. Hold on a sec, guys. I know it was Marky Rizzo, Mikey, and I think Kristen B. I'm just going off of memory here. And also Deb. I believe you guys are the 4 who did a super chat today. Kevin said that he did a generous, what's it called? Venmo. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that went through. So thank you guys all who donated to the super chats and Venmos. You guys are all awesome for helping me out that way. It does mean a lot to me. It does motivate me to keep pushing forward and trying to find different ways to grow the channel and to bring more higher entertainment value and just higher quality value to you guys, and I am gonna keep improving the channel. And you could kind of think of it as going to a movie. If you're gonna go pay $10 to go to a movie, you could pay $10 to watch your boy here, if you're able to, guys. Of course, it's just think of it like that. Maybe as like entertainment type stuff like that is kind of how I would look at it. Hold on a sec, guys. We just had one more super chat come through. Kingdom sent a super chat, $4. He says, "For your next cup of coffee." That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that. It doesn't sound like you've seen, but a lot of people will say, because I'm like a huge fan of egg whites, I drink a lot of egg whites. So we'll call you the egg white crew. A lot of people generously donate to the egg white funds, is what we call it. So thank you for the egg whites, my friend. I'll definitely grab some. And yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you on your channel soon. So hopefully we can get a video sent up soon. Oh, we have another donation here, Roberta. It makes me so sad to see that name, Roberta. As you may or may not know, one of my best friends, Rockin' Roberta, she died a little over a year ago. She has a YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen it, it's just called Rockin' Roberta. She died tragically in a house fire, and she is the entire reason that this entire channel exists. So shout out to her, Rockin' Roberta. If you never got to meet her, that sucks, because everybody that knew her loved her. I made a really good video for her. Just if you YouTube search RIP Rockin' Roberta, you'll see it. It's a video that took me an insane amount of time to put together. But that just shows you what kind of person that she was, if you're interested. She was like the godmother of videos like we have here. She was the first person that I seen on YouTube talking about Suboxone. And I know that a lot of people have created channels after me. You know what I mean? Like there's people that I've told, you know, create channels, share your story. It helps other people. And so this all stems from Rock and Roberta telling me to start a channel and sharing my experience. So shout out to you, Roberta Halfley. That's very awesome for you to donate to the Egg White Fund. So just seeing all the support that you guys are showing me, like it really lets me know that you guys, you're liking what I'm doing here. This message has value to you, or else you wouldn't be donating. So thank you guys all for all your help and all the comments that you guys put. It really makes really brightens my day and keeps me motivated to keep coming back and putting out more content for you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Mark says, "Oh my God, I saw some of her videos. Sorry about it, Rock and Roberta." Yeah, dude, she had a house fire and she passed away, and that was last summer. So devastating, devastating stuff. She was like the sweetest angel anybody's ever met. I never met her, but we were literally like best friends. So yeah, you guys are welcome to go see that video I made for her. It's a great video, and it shows a lot of what she did for our community, because she did do a ton for our community. Florida Man Dan says, "I'm on 3 milligrams. Are going to start tapering soon." That's awesome. I'm glad to see you on here. I know that you were saying something about trying to make it. Yeah, check it out, Kingdom Within, for sure. Thanks for what you do. God bless. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And also thank you to you for sharing your experience. That's awesome that you have a channel. I'm excited to check it out. Eric says, "Yeah, Roberta was a special person and a beautiful spirit." Yeah, definitely one of the best spirits I've ever known. Let's see here. Eric says, "Hey Kev, when will be your last dose of Sublicade?" I just barely went over that right before your question popped. My last dose of Sublicade, my fourth and final shot will be on, let me look at the calendar again. I think it's December 28th. Yes, December 28th. So I've been on Sublicade. I'll just say it again real quick. Sorry, guys. I've been on Sublicade 2 months. As of today is my second month. I was supposed to get my third shot today, but I pushed it out an extra week. So I'll be going 5 weeks until I get my third shot. And then my fourth shot, I'm pushing out 7 weeks. So I'm going to go 7 weeks from my third shot before I get my fourth and final shot. And then I'm going to roll out from there. So that's less than 2 months, guys. And I'll be done with my Sublicade journey. And then I'll be at the mercy of whatever happens after that, which shouldn't be much. Should be a long, slow taper sometime into next summer. So, any other questions? No, you're good, Eric. Also, Eric, thank you for all your comments on the replays and stuff lately. I really appreciate that. You've been posting some pretty good comments. Let's see here. I have the Mylan and Alvogen brand. Once I'm done with Alvogen, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to start tapering. Only want to taper with one brand. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, find what works best for you. Yeah, Deb says 3 milligrams is a great start to a taper. Yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah, definitely don't jump off of 3 milligrams like I tried to do. That was very hard. Definitely take some time and taper down to some low doses for sure. Let's see here. Kevin says, "Take care, Mark. Hit me up if you have any questions." Let's see here. Oh, Kevin says, "Please consider making a donation, friends." Yeah, that's awesome, Kev. Kev's such a badass. I love that he's in here hanging with us too. Like, Kevin knows a lot, you guys, about Sublicade. So if you ever have any questions and you see him in the comments, he's your man. He knows a lot more about Sublicade than even I do. And you guys already know I know a lot about this stuff. And Kevin has been successfully off of Sublicade for quite a while now too. So if there's anybody to ask about Sublicade, and if you can catch Kev either on Reddit or in my comment section, he's the one who definitely knows his stuff. Kevin says, peace everyone, pass this gift on. Yeah, share the video, guys. It really helps the YouTube channel grow if you can do that. And Mark Brown says, lots of egg lights. Yeah, we got to get the egg lights in here. Got to keep these muscles on I work so hard for. Oh, shoot, Roberta, I didn't see this. Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad I kept reading up. Sorry, I'm backtracking through the messages. So Roberta says, I'm on day 16 of #1 Sublicade. As per your advice, no oral. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing great. Oh my gosh. Roberta, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. And it sounds like you guys watching my journey is helping you guys take that step. Because I know for me, it's scary to take that step to go from Suboxone to Sublicade because you don't have control of it anymore. You literally are giving up control, and whatever your doctor squeezes in your belly, you're not in control anymore. You can't alter your mood by doing this. Like you're so used to doing with Suboxone. Frosted Flakes. Yeah, that's where I got that from, Deb. I freaking love my Frosted Flakes. Oh, I think that's what you meant by that, by K2 earlier, Kev, right? Meaning that you'll be you'll be here on the chat next week. Is that what you meant? Whew, you guys are keeping me busy in the comments. I love the all the comments you guys are making here. Just a side note too, guys, is that I have pre-recorded videos. There will be one coming out this Friday, next Monday, and next Friday, right? So we'll still keep doing the live streams on Wednesday at the same time that we've been doing them. That's now the normal set time. So there will be some different type of videos coming to the channel. So if you do not resonate with what I talk about in those videos, that's okay. You don't have to watch if you don't like the topic that you see in the description. Just know that there's going to be some different stuff coming to the channel, guys. But Wednesdays are probably always going to be about Suboxone and Sublocade type stuff, because that's what we built this foundation on, baby. Deb, you're going to be here next Wednesday, right? Deb, if you ever can't make it to one of these, I don't know what I'm going to do without you here. You're seriously the biggest freaking help. You might have to let me know, Deb, like if you can somehow, like if you know you're not going to be able to make one of my Wednesdays, you might have to give me a heads up so I can be extra watchy. I don't think that I could do a guest stream without having Deb moderate the chat, because she does such a really good job at doing that. Okay, good question here, Kingdom. Kingdom says, how do I get on Suboxone? So you could just do a Google search for Suboxone, Suboxone doctor in your area, and there should be plenty of people around here. Or you can even call Dr. Ken Starr, who we just had on the channel before this. He does, a lot of people do telehealth, where you can just call, you can have a Zoom call with them, and then they can send you your prescription right to your doctor, and you don't even have to go into the dentist, or the dentist, sorry, I just went to the dentist. You don't even have to go into like an addiction clinic. You can now just do it online. So if you want to, you can reach out to Ken Starr, tell him about your kratom addiction, and that you'd like to consider getting on like a lower dose of Suboxone to get off of kratom. And I really think that you'll do a lot better on, probably at your dose. I would say you're going to be wanting to be around 1 to 2 milligrams of Suboxone a day. Please don't go crazy with Suboxone. Don't go jumping on 16 milligrams for a kratom addiction. That would be a step in the wrong direction, in my opinion. But if you want to chat more with me about this, we can do that. Or if you have any other questions about like possibly what doses, because like I said, I do have experience with kratom. Obviously, I can't give medical advice. I'm not a doctor, but I can share with you my personal experience. The best thing you ever did was burn the Suboxone. Now you have no choice but to stay off and taper. That's so true, Eric. Since I burned my medication, if you guys haven't seen the video yet, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I literally took all my Suboxone and I had like a lot of it. I threw it all in the fire. And since I sat there and watched that stuff burn, like I feel like I've been free. Like I freed myself by getting rid of my Suboxone. So if you guys are, there's a lot of people who are getting onto Sublicade. If you have a bunch of Suboxone, set yourself free, guys. Go have yourself some kind of thing like I had. Like there was a full moon out. I had a fire pit available, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go put this beast to rest. And that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly how I felt since I've gotten rid of the option of having Suboxone. Because if you have a stockpile of it, I can almost guarantee you're going to do what I did, and you're going to be tempted, and you're going to want to know what it feels like to take Suboxone. Or you might be missing that feeling that you get once your Suboxone kicks in. And so you'll take some, and then you're going to start guilting yourself. You're like, well, that wasn't really worth it. At least this is how I felt. Like I took some, I was disappointed in myself. I knew that that was just prolonging this whole thing of being addicted to oral dosing. And so I was like, you know what? I need to, as soon as I get my second dose, I'm gonna burn this stuff. And ever since I burned this stuff, I don't think about it anymore. If you don't have it, you don't really need to think about it because it's not an option anymore. So if you don't have it and it's not an option, you stop thinking about it and you just kind of move on with life. And it hasn't been that hard, you guys. I promise you, it's not nearly as hard as I thought that it was going to be to stop thinking about Suboxone. Way easier than I thought it was going to be. And even to break the daily habit of taking something, even that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be so hard to do that and to stop breaking that mental. Guys, it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And I have to give credit to Sublicade. The long half-life is what it's all about. Incredible. If you guys are able to do the Sublicade, if you have insurance, if you're tired of tapering, or if you're unable to taper, then think about Sublicade. Think about talking to your doctor about Sublicade. Florida man Dan says, I made a channel, but I think it sucks. I'll be the judge of that. Just kidding. I ain't going to judge nobody, but I will check out your channel, my friend. Let's see here. Florida man Dan. I'll check it out, buddy. I'll shoot you some comments, okay? Thanks for the info. Will do. Yeah, I hope you can find your way onto a low dose of Suboxone. That'll definitely help you, and you won't have to withdraw. Suboxone will take away the withdrawal from Kratom, because I know that Kratom has a withdrawal. I know there's some fairy tale people on YouTube that somehow seem to try to push the fact that Kratom doesn't have a withdrawal, but that's fairy dust. Kratom definitely has a withdrawal, as does Suboxone and oxys and all that stuff. Obviously that stuff has a withdrawal. I get my subs from my psychologist. He is also a hospital doctor and an addiction doctor. I had to do an induction for subs. It would be nice to get subs by telehealth and not have to be an opioid withdrawal. Yeah, that's a good point, Mark. That's a really good point. Before I could just get my subs. Yeah, I didn't really think of that until you pointed that out. Yeah, he says you have to get rid of the option. Yep, if you have that box of Suboxone, sooner or later you're gonna reach into it, and you're gonna be kicking yourself in the butt for doing that. If you're anything like me anyway, I self-guilt myself for a lot of stuff, so maybe you guys won't struggle with that. Does Suboxone have the euphoria effect? Some people say it does. Some people say it doesn't. Some people, they say they get energy. Some people say they get euphoria. Some people just feel fine and normal. For me, I get more like anxiety relief.
it more like calms me down, but a lot of people say they get the energy from it. Kingdom, honestly, for me, I got euphoric effect, but more like a benzo euphoria for the first month. Yeah, the euphoria effect from Suboxone, it seems like that mostly comes like at the earlier stages of it. Your channel is badass. Definitely inspired me to make a channel. I like that. Also, 161 days clean from that fent dope. See, you're on a new path in life. 161 days clean from, dude. I mean, you made it out of that lifestyle, then you're obviously here for a greater purpose, my friend. So keep pushing with your channel, even if you think it sucks. Dude, if you think it sucks, go look at my first Suboxone video from 4 years ago. If you think yours sucks, trust me, we all got to start somewhere. I actually watched my first Suboxone video from 4 years ago. I watched it last week and I was like, oh, I was so awkward on the video, so awkward. So just remember, if you guys are starting a channel, it takes time to where you feel comfortable. And it certainly takes time to where you can have a 10-year addiction doctor on here and feel normal about talking to him. That totally is something that takes time to acquire. It's not very easy to do that. So especially if you're not very like outgoing in your personal life. As you guys remember, I started off with Dr. Chris Park like 2 years ago. I think we had our first, and that was a great experience. And then I keep having more and more people on the channel, and I intend to keep bringing more and more people on the channel. So it lets me know I like that you guys are enjoying these types of videos. Kind of seems like you guys enjoy when I have guests on more than when it's just me, but I don't know. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to think. I'm experimenting with different things, as you guys know. Dang, maybe we should just push it to 3 hours. We're getting close. My butt is getting sore from this goofy ass chair. Ooh, hold on, guys. Look at what I'm sitting on here. Those little flimsy cats. Oh, these buns are steel. This poor chair. You want to see Izzy, Deb? Izzy, come here. Izzy Bell. Come see the daddy. Sorry, guys, I'm probably yelling in your ear with these microphones. Isabel, come here. You want to get a snack? That usually gets her. Let's see here. I don't see my puppy. So Florida Man's channel talks about fentanyl and Suboxone. Yeah, go check it out, guys. Go show him some love. Keep those videos going, brother. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can tell, but I love to, like, I consider you guys my friends, right? So I want you guys to have success and to work hard for your YouTube channel so you can help other people and that in turn helps you. So obviously, if you guys have a YouTube channel, I'm gonna tell everybody about it. Side note, has anybody heard from Matt? I still haven't heard a word from him. His YouTube channel is still gone. I hope he's okay. I'm starting to really worry about that kid. Matt, if you're watching this, you need to text me, man. Text your boy. Stressing me out, dude. If Joe ever sees this, Joe, I hope you're doing good too, man. I hope you make another video soon. I like watching Joe's videos. I just like knowing he's okay. It's cool to see him walking his dog and just talking about his life. It doesn't have to be anything special. Even just seeing my friends out there just living their life. Just good to know they're okay. My content is filtered out of the YouTube algorithm, but hey, what can you do when you're exposing the evil elite? I feel you, man. There's a lot of things you can't talk about, and like, there's certain ways that you have to word things and stuff. It sucks, but that's how it is here on the old YT. Let's see here. My voice is absolutely destroyed right now. Can you guys hear that my voice is weird? It's like, Dry heathen over here. Deb says not a peep from Nat. Yeah, you haven't heard from him either, huh? Hey, Jessica. Long time no see. Good to see you, Jessica. Where you been? Kicking, what's good, homie? Let's see here. Deb says, I don't care if you have a guest. I just need a weekly get-together. Hey, I've been on it, Deb, right? I've been real consistent because I know that this means a lot to you just to get on here and chat. You know, it's a nice little escape from our normal lives every week. I don't have cheat days with subs. I don't have cheat days with subs. I guess I'm a little confused by that comment. What do you mean by that? Are you flip-flopping, Florida man? Are you going back and forth between subs and the other stuff? Is that what I understand? Is that what I got from that comment? I always call it flip-flopping. Getting in that cycle can be bad. Absolutely. That's how I was at first when I first got on Suboxone. I was going Suboxone to opiates, Suboxone to opiates. And that sucks to be in that. If you're in that cycle, just try to stay on Suboxone and stay steady on that. I'm loving this hangout, bro. This is awesome. Yeah, we're here every Wednesday, bud. Is this the first time you've seen it? Are you just recently finding my channel? Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, we're here every Wednesday. You're welcome to go back if you're bored and look through my, you'll see that I have this labeled Wednesday live stream number 23. That means, you know, we've got 23 more before this. If you're bored, feel free to go check them out. We've gone over a lot of good stuff over the last year or so. Looks like we've got 3 more minutes to go. Push this out to 3 more minutes to get that 3-hour mark. Glad you're doing good. Oh, I think somebody asked me about Ambien earlier. Yes, I am still off of Ambien, and I'm doing great without it. Oh, shoot, my phone just died, guys. I'll have to read the comments on here now. Let's see. Jessica, you still on Sublicade? No Suboxone, right? Yes, I've been on Sublicade 2 months now. I'm getting 2 more shots and then I'm done. Before this year's over, I'll officially have my last shot and I'll just cruise out from there. I've always been rooting for you to beat it. I hope you're gonna ride this out and be done. Oh, I'm going to Jessica. For sure. I'm doing so much better now that I switched to Sublicade. Oh, I caught. Sorry, guys. Watch my thumb. Hey, Anthony. Oh, looks like you missed some good stuff, bud. Anthony, I hit all your questions, so you're gonna have to dig. You're gonna have to watch You're gonna be on the replay crew. I was barely able to squeeze through your questions at the end, so I got your questions answered, and I also got Scott's questions answered. So check out the replay, my buddy. How are you doing? I know that you just got your first Sublicade shot yesterday, was it? 2 days ago now? Hold on, now I'm really curious. How are you doing since you got your first shot, buddy? I guess I could pull up the stream on this phone. Hold on a sec, guys.
Good shot, buddy.
Oh,
I guess I could pull
talking to live chat. Whoa, I can see better on this phone. Yes, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I knew it was important to you to get those questions answered, so I made sure that I had it. Look at all the stuff we went over today, guys. This was all notes from today. So I had come prepared for today's show. Let's see. I can't remember exactly where I spoke about your questions, Anthony. I think it was closer towards the end. But I know you're going to be like me and go watch the whole thing over anyway. Hopefully YouTube approves this. So as soon as we get off of here, hopefully you guys can watch this immediately. If you don't see this video for a while, it might be a couple days before YouTube approves it. I've been sub 2 for about 6 months now, but just found out you stream Wednesdays, so now I'll try and be here every Wednesday. Awesome. We'd love to have you every Wednesday. I love the live streams. I've been in many other live streams chats in other areas, and this is a positive community. Yes, it is. With something in common. Yep. I love this streaming community. Yeah, I can tell by the comments that you make, Mark, that this message is resonating with you and where you're at in your life. And I love to know that. Lo-Fi says, I love your channel, man. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for joining and following along. I appreciate it. I love this community too, Mark. Anthony says, I'm doing great. Yes, on Tuesday. So Anthony got his first shot on Tuesday. Oh, today's like Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. So you've been on it for about a day now. Good. Yeah, you should really start to stable out here by like tomorrow and the next day. You're going to be feeling like this, my friend. Just wanted to jump on and say hi. I'll let you close up. Sublicade is the best. It's crazy to not go straight for the bottle when I wake up. I'll get with y'all in the comments. Thanks, Kev. You're welcome, Anthony. Good to see you. Hop on here for a second. And Deb just posted a website to find Sublicade doctors. Thank you, Deb. For the guy that asked earlier where he could get Suboxone at. Or, oh, that was first. Okay, so that's for Sublicade. I didn't know that there was a specific Sublicade website. That's awesome. Okay, doing great. Okay, guys, it looks like we made it past the 3-hour mark. Again, shout out to everybody who was able to contribute today. If you're watching this on the replay and you find value in what I do, feel free to send a super sticker if you'd like. If not, that's totally okay. But we will see you guys soon. And don't forget to check out my other videos that are coming up. I have a different video dropping this Friday and also next Monday. And then I'll be throwing in some random short videos for you guys as well. Okay, guys? If there's any questions that I miss asking the doctor, please put them in the question mark on the replay section. And then he might be able to, if he has time, he could come on and hopefully reply if I missed something. I feel pretty confident that I asked most questions that anybody on this channel would have for him. But if not, go ahead and drop a question. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. Go check out his channel. Again, that's Ken Starr MD Wellness Group. That's his YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and go show him some support. And make sure you guys thank him for taking time out of his day. I know he's a busy man. For him to do what he did today for us is awesome. And I know that this video is going to help a lot of people going forward too. So shout out to you, Dr. Ken Starr, if you're still watching this. I look forward to doing another collaboration video with you in the future, my friend. And again, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. That was very awesome of you to share that with us. And I just hope that you're doing well. And I hope you all are doing well. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. And we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button for your boy. All right, bye, guys.